What's poppin'? Your boy is back at it, you feel me? Last week, when you had a podcast, you know, it was Christmas, everybody was doing their thing, you feel me? This week, your boy caught the flu. The whole flu.
Mess
Recovered
around with
in.
them nasty Tinder
No,
harlots. That's what
no,
he's doing.
no.
Yeah.
Don't
I
let him
got
fool you.
that drink
He
from.
caught the bird flu, that bird chest.
Oh my god. Alright. But like I was saying, um, caught it from a family member, but your boy recovered in like 2 or 3 days, so we good, we good. Um,
Hopped up on antihistamines and antibiotics.
yeah, your boy drugged up right now. Your boy
The
feeling.
anti-inflammatory.
Your boy feeling. All right.
Alright.
What emotion is that?
Crackhead.
I don't know. I've never heard of
Perky.
that side effect.
Yeah, perked up, perked up. Your boy perked.
Perky.
I think Mitch caught this one summer.
Shut up.
Alright, but it is New Year's Eve, and will be the close of the decade. Just before we get into our top 10, want to ask y'all a little question. How's y'all decade? Well, first
I
I
don't
need to
rem-
introduce y'all niggas. I'm tripping.
Damn.
Yeah, my
What, are you
bad.
new?
Yeah, you introduce us and then ask us one by
Yeah,
one
who
while
am I?
you introducing.
I'm
feel me?
sorry, bruh.
Yeah,
I'm
what
sorry.
are you new?
Yeah. I'm a double. All right. Main man Blitz, how you doing?
I'm alright. I had a truncated day at work and nothing really happened, so.
I feel,
Yeah, he used the T word.
I feel it. How was your decade, my man?
I mean, it's better than I was. I'm better off now than I was 10 years ago, so I guess it's progress.
Hey, it's definitely progress, bro. It's definitely progress. Chef Javon, how you
Yes, sir.
doing,
Oh!
my man?
Government.
It's in
I'm
his
cool.
name.
That's
Though.
cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's crazy. His name's in his name.
Oh, Chef, you mean to do that, bruh?
What happened?
Your name and your name.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yo, do it again?
Alright.
How you doing, Chef?
I'm doing pretty good, sir.
That's good, bro. How's your decade, my man?
Damn, was that bad?
It was. I can't remember the first five, but it was fast.
Yo, I told y'all, yo, this man Chef was off the henny. He's sober now.
Nah, bro, I got. This is the decade
70 years old.
I got thrusted into the fucking adulthood shit. You feel
Not
me?
thrusted.
I was literally thrown into adulthood.
I feel you.
But that took place. What was it like the last 3 years of the decade? 3 or 4. When shit really got real. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that.
To become a
But
man.
overall, it's been good.
That's
That
good
was
to
it.
hear, man. Oh, okay. That's good to hear. All right, Gemini Wolf. Had you on a couple
Okay.
podcasts before. How you doing, my man?
Yeah. I'm doing fantastic. Enjoying myself a beer. Waiting till the final hours of the 2010s.
2010s. I feel it. How's your decade, my man?
just like Mr. Sheffrey, I was also thrusted into adulthood. It was definitely not fun. Had a lot of jobs, quit a lot of jobs, dealt with a lot of internal demons, but we gonna come in real strong for 2020.
Y'all
Which,
might
by
hear
the
some
way-
on the podcast as a guest.
Which, by the way,
Oh my god.
hold on, just as a quick side, next year is gonna be the year of the rat. So your boy looking up.
Who's
Big up.
yo?
I feel
No,
that.
he said a rat.
Nah, it's the Chinese year, so
The Chinese New Year?
Yeah, the Chinese.
it's the year of the rat. Who the fuck is making noises? Mario, you good, bro?
What you talking about?
Alright. Speaking of Mario, next guest. I think we had you on.
He was on once.
Yeah,
like
once
a few
before.
months ago.
Yeah, but we got you back for the top 10. How you doing, my man?
I'm alright. I'm chilling.
I feel that. How's your decade been, my man?
I mean, it's been nothing but positive for me, honestly. So, you know,
Hey, that's good to hear, bro. That's good to hear.
yeah, gotta look at it with a positive mindset.
That's all you can do, brother. That's all you can do. Nightshade, the nigga himself. How you doing,
What does
bro?
that even mean?
I don't know. Well, how you doing, bro?
I'm gonna let him finish.
How you how you doing, bro?
I mean, I was doing great, you know.
You doing
That's
great?
real.
Nigga start talking sideways.
Oh shit. How's your decade been, bro?
Well, unlike a few people in here, I ain't never been thrusted into anything.
Oh
Um, you know, I had to become an adult too. I ain't got no kids. I got a job. I guess I made it through.
you doing better than most niggas. Uh,
That's
you know
crazy.
what's
Most
up.
niggas homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most niggas
Yeah,
Couldn't be
homeless.
me.
Most niggas don't have a
Couldn't
job,
be me.
and most niggas got kids.
Yeah. So you went out really well.
You doing better, bro. You doing a lot better.
Yuck.
So, our last but not least guest, the Michelin Man himself.
He was born this decade.
Yo, I feel that.
Oh shit!
Who y'all
Real.
talking about?
Don't go like that.
Who y'all talking about?
Michelin Man,
thought-
Sincon himself, the tire salesman.
Yo, who are you talking about, bro?
You talking about the Michelin Man?
The
The
Michelin- I'm talking
Hamburglar.
about
I thought
Oh,
I thought I
shit.
was the last guest. Who are you talking about?
my
How you
God.
doing, bro? How you doing, Mitch?
Yo, what's up?
Yo, he just learned how to
Oh
talk
my
yesterday.
God.
Yo, I on God, bro. This year, matter of fact, not even this year. The last like 3 years, pretty stagnant, pretty terrible. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot to learn.
Not terrible.
This was really my my coming of age arc. You know what I'm saying? My coming of everything
you even
basically.
Your training arc yet, bro, but you
Fucking
still in
Yes,
the
I
weird.
have. Shut up. Listen. I had a revelation towards the end of this year, man. A lot has happened. A lot has happened emotionally, physically, you know what I'm saying? But towards these last like 2 months, I've really tried my best to evolve. You know what I'm saying? But
Like a
just
Pokemon.
like Chef, I don't really remember much from
Say
the
like a Pokemon.
from the beginning of this decade. Really, it was just
Yeah, 'cause you're like 2 years old.
yeah. Apparently. But yeah, man, this was like I said, my coming of age arc these last 3 years, and
Wow.
I've learned a lot.
Oh, this nigga wasn't even beating his dick at the start of the decade.
Stop,
Yo.
bro.
Well,
Why aren't you gonna go that way?
if that was any indication, this YouTube video now has to be marked not safe for children.
Oh, I should have did that earlier.
Yo, what you doing?
Right.
Oh, for real.
But
You're right.
yeah, man, this is overall. I've learned a lot, thanks to a lot of people I've met along the way, and I will continue to learn to achieve my final form this decade or this new decade. Thank you and goodbye.
All right.
Wait, what do you mean? We just barely started.
We got a whole
We got
podcast,
a
yo. You gotta
whole-
relax.
We got a whole damn near
He said
probably
deuces.
3 hours, bro.
He said,
Hey, you want me to come back?
All right, I'm gonna head out.
I'm back.
Wait,
All
wait,
right,
what?
Whoa.
Vince, what you doing?
What is happening?
How
Why
did
are you
get
here?
We doing
Why
a
are you still
podcast.
here?
nigga.
You didn't lock the room after. Oh my God.
Oh, you
Why didn't you lock the room?
This nigga.
because it's up to 10 for whatever reason.
God.
Why is it in 10?
Why are you at 10?
Technical
Oh,
difficult.
shit.
If shit was at an 8, we liked it.
It's changed. It's changed.
All right. So we just gonna go ahead and get straight into it because this is gonna be a
Fucking idiot.
it's gonna be wild. Oh, my dumb ass. Kenpachi, emissary of the void. How you doing?
Don't do that.
I'm doing
Bro.
pretty good, man. You know.
Oh God, he's talking to
He's talking to himself.
Hey, yo,
Nigga, going
2020,
crazy.
yo, this next decade we can't be doing that. We can't be doing that.
Within a couple hours, we gotta get rid of this shit.
All right.
Boo.
So,
2030, this nigga gonna be in a straight jacket, yo.
Hey,
Mark my words.
Hey, but you know, I just want to thank everybody in the Discord and the stream. You know, your boy started streaming. I don't even want to say career for real, but his streaming community, I guess, a couple years back, and you know, it's been a journey. Been with these guys in the Discord for a minute. We've been through thick and thin, and want to appreciate all of y'all support. Thank y'all for fucking with your boy, cause you know y'all ain't have to, but y'all did. Y'all
Lucky
fuck
we're
with
not
the
charging
kid.
for this.
Oh shit. Yeah, thank y'all for doing this shit for free. I
Damn,
guess.
Bliss, you ain't getting paid. It's crazy.
Nah, I'm a invoice. I'm an invoice you.
Hey, bro.
No courtesy.
But yeah, man, fuck with y'all niggas, love y'all niggas. And my decade personally, man, it's been one for the books. I'll say in the least. Been through a lot of shit. Uh, been
Yeah,
through
I saw that big girl.
Yo, listen,
Yeah.
listen.
You didn't have to
We've
go
learned.
ahead.
We've
gotta
learned. We've
chill,
gotten better from
bruh.
that. We've learned from that.
You gotta
Oh
chill,
my God, that's
bruh.
cold.
We put that in the
You
history
gotta
books and just leave it
chill,
there.
bruh.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
Yeah, we gotta do better next decade, Kenpachi. We can't be doing that shit.
No, we trust, bro.
It's okay. We're here to learn.
Next time, that's your life.
Alright.
Damn.
Like I was saying, goddammit. This nigga made me forget. Fucking.
That's crazy, yeah.
Something about your decade and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that
my
other
decade,
garbage.
my decade though. It was pretty good. Been through thick and thin. Been through thick and thin with some niggas that I fuck with. So you know, a lot of character development, a lot of shit learned.
Hey, yo,
Definitely some mistakes made on the way. Shut up, nigga. Um, but we making it
That's
through
the longest
nonetheless. We gotta
intro,
keep
yo.
moving. We gotta keep
Nigga.
this
moving.
nigga think he's special.
I'm just give y'all niggas gave y'all peace. Now niggas hating. Shut up, bro. Hey,
Hey, yo, do you? Hey, yo, do you?
You're
nah,
not giving
shut
a
up,
piece
Hey, yo,
bro.
don't let Mitch hold you back, yo.
Nah,
I ain't do
bruh.
shit.
All right,
Hey,
yo.
but
Come on.
I'm chilling. I'm ready for the new decade. We need to get things popping. You feel me? But yeah, peace. All right.
Can
So
I say
yeah,
one more thing before we start?
yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Oh
Oh
shit.
my god.
Oh no.
Yo,
Oh no.
this nigga-
Mitch,
Chef, put your pants back on,
Chef,
yo.
What?
Chef,
What?
Chef, go ahead. Say what you need to say,
I
bro.
just want to say we need to go ahead and get rid of Jared Goff. That's it.
Alright, bro. Alright, so starting with Mitch. 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 Um, so you already know what the podcast is, my nigga. Top 10. What's your number 10, bro?
Number 10. All right, at number 10, I have the a classic, a cult classic, Dark Souls 3.
Hmm.
Mm,
Okay.
Game of a
Alright.
lot of suffering, a lot of challenge, and a lot of enjoyment.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a
Yay.
That's a solid 10. That's a solid 10. Nightshade, you got yours, my man?
Yeah, what you want? The bottom 10?
Number 10,
Wait,
bro.
wasn't I supposed to? Oh, never
Oh,
mind.
you want number
Supposed to be
10?
your bottom 7.
Yeah.
7,
Oh,
that's
we
what I
just going
heard.
7 like
Oh,
that?
that's what I
Oh.
heard, yo.
It's like no one listened to
Rolling,
fuck.
bro.
It's like
Wait,
no
did
one
you
at
just
all.
not-
It's like-
hello?
It's like no one
Alright,
listened.
Mitch, go
It's
ahead,
like-
go ahead, go ahead.
That's
go ahead, go ahead.
crazy.
So at
Hey,
number
yo,
10,
this nigga was fucking driving the boat. I was just in the back, yo, in the fucking slave compartment. What you want?
And I thought we are gonna go like in alphabetical order, but yeah, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
no,
Mitch
we
already
were.
gave his list. So.
top from all right.
Yeah, we gotta learn our ABDs
alright,
in
we
there.
gonna-
Yeah,
we
Kenpachi
gonna
said fuck
restart,
all that
we
shit.
gonna
So we
You know what?
restart, we gonna restart,
To
we
erase
gonna
the
restart.
podcast, we gotta do is take 2, bro. All up.
Top to bottom or bottom to top? What is-
Top
what-
to
I like
bottom.
bottom,
top
Might
to
as well.
bottom. Okay,
Wait.
okay. Alright. So
Wait,
Blitz,
God damn.
my man.
Oh, okay,
I'm
okay.
stupid. I'm sorry.
We know.
Okay, true.
Low key, I did pop a pill.
What?
So
The thoughts and opinions and activities of nerd.
I'm on the fluke.
I'm saying,
getting
bro,
over the
Feds, I
flu,
am not
goddammit.
with him, bro. I don't know what he's popping.
All right, so Blitz, my man, 7.
All right, from numbers 10 through 7, starting at number 10. A game that recently came out last year. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Good choice. Good choice.
Probably one of the most unique games I've ever played. A lot of dealing with mental illness. The atmosphere and the aesthetic is really cool, really dope. Yeah, just really a very unique game in terms of sound design and audio engineering. Yeah, and I'm super excited that we're getting a sequel. Hopefully soon, whenever the new Xbox or whatever that shit hits Game Pass. So super excited for Hellblade 2, and yeah, Hellblade 1 is my number 10. Number 9, BioShock Infinite. This is actually the only BioShock that I've played. I've always seen BioShock around, but never really caught my interest. And then I think I first bought it on 360, and it was on sale. So I was, you know what, fuck it, let me just give this game a try because I've heard it's pretty good. Played it, and like it was just like for like it's a single player game, but but it's also like shooter esque, and it's just everything just felt good about that game, from the story to the gameplay, the gunplay. The twist at the end was fucking nuts. Um, so that I really enjoyed that game a lot. Actually, I haven't played the DLC as long as I've had it, because I even bought it again on when I built my PC, but I haven't gotten to the DLC yet, the Burial at Sea or whatever. So I should probably go back and do that at some point. So yeah, BioShock Infinite, number 9. Um, number 8 is probably one of the funniest games I've ever played. Yo, Saints Row the Third. Yo,
Mm.
That
yo,
came
like
out this decade,
it came out in 2011. 2011.
bruh.
It
Yeah.
came
Yeah,
out in
dude.
2011. So like, I've never really been a big fan of GTA, because like I feel like GTA tries too hard to be like super realistic and be like a satire of actual society. Saints Row is just all about fun, you know. Like I know that, like the first two were kind of like hardcore, but then like the third one was the first one I picked up in the series, and it was just all about just dicking around and having fun. Like you can, you know,
Literally.
like you like all you have like your guns and stuff like that, but then you also got like dildo bats. You can beat niggas with that. You got a gun that shoots sharks that goes up under the ground and eats people. You got
That
a
game.
fucking you got a fucking toilet plunger launcher that makes niggas stink, and then you know it draws aggro to them and stuff. It's just a fun game, and like I just really fuck with that game all around for just having fun, because I feel like that's what games are supposed to be about. So it doesn't take itself too seriously. So I definitely appreciate that. Number 7, Darksiders 2. My favorite entry and probably the most underrated or most slept on series of last gen. I played the first Darksiders and it was cool, but then I remember seeing like gameplay and promo for Darksiders 2, and I pre-ordered that, and I really enjoyed it. It was basically pretty much a lot more improved from the first one, in terms of just like the way that like the gameplay is. I'm more of a fan of that like hack and slash kind of gameplay and stuff like that. Uh, and this one's a vast improvement over the first Darksiders. And Darksiders 3 was cool too, but I didn't enjoy it as much as 2. So yeah, that's definitely I feel like that's pretty well placed. Um, Number 6, this one, yeah, this one's kind of bittersweet, because this is the whole reason I built a gaming PC in the first place. Overwatch. When this game came out, I remember this game literally took over like everything for like that good few months
2
or
months, 3 months.
so. For a good 2 or 3 months, that game took over everything. Like
Mhm.
I don't even know how I found it or about it. I was like, yo, because I was leaning before it came out. I was leaning towards building a gaming PC. But when I saw that, and then I saw the fucking the intro cinematic or the story trailer at BlizzCon, I was like, yo, I gotta get this. I didn't. Sure enough, it came out on console, but by then it was too late. I already built the PC, so fuck it. But yeah, even though I don't play that game no more because I hate what it became, I feel like Overwatch needed a spot on my top 10, because yeah, that game took over my life for like a good 3 or 4 months, from the gameplay, the lore. I'm still a Pharah main to the day I die, so I
Hey,
put
gang.
Overwatch at number 6. Now we're getting into top 5 now. Top 5, my favorite PS3 game of all time, God of War 3. This game hit everything from gameplay to story, and it was just a good wrap up to that series. Like for its time, it was fucking amazing. The graphics were amazing. Probably one of the most intense first levels in a game that I've ever played. That first mission with versus fighting Poseidon and all that stuff. It's just great. So, and then, like I said, if it was up to me, the way the God of War 3 ended, I would have left the series at that. But this, obviously, they since rebooted it with the new one last year. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have done it. But now that the reboot is out there, it's a pretty good game, so can't hate on that. But yeah, God of War 3 definitely my favorite in the franchise and my favorite PS3 game of all time. And then I do one more. Do we? Yeah,
Yeah, number 4.
Yeah.
yeah, number 4. Okay, number 4. I think this. I almost flipped this with God of War 3, but I think this is just in terms of time I put into this. Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Hey.
Yeah.
This is pretty much the only Call of Duty that I enjoyed top to bottom. I think my first Call of Duty was Black Ops. No, it was World at War. World at War was my very first Call of Duty, and that was fun. And then I started to get into the multiplayer for Black Ops 1, and I enjoyed that. But Black Ops 2, I much thoroughly enjoyed top to bottom as far as multiplayer goes. I don't really play campaigns in Call of Duties anymore because I just don't care. I feel like the multiplayer. I think this was the game that made me stop playing campaign altogether because multiplayer was so good in my opinion. Just the guns, the maps, it's just like it was everything that you know about Call of Duty, but it's everything just felt right for the most part. It's the only Call of Duty that I ever like binged and pulled an all nighter before. So I appreciate that. I kind of wish. I'm hoping we get like a remaster for that coming up with the next COD because I think Treyarch's doing the next one, right?
That would be
Yeah.
Sledgehammer.
They're doing the next entry, but they're probably going to do like a remaster.
It's not
following
Sledgehammer. It is
it's
Treyarch.
Sledgehammer.
Yeah. So,
Treyarch took over the rotation this year.
Yeah. So go ahead and just remaster Black Ops 2, and then you don't even need to make a whole. Niggas will just stay on that for. So,
IQ.
it just take out Aftermath because that map sucked. But yeah, Black Ops 2, my number. Yeah.
Got you. Chef,
Yes.
my man. Should 7 of the decade,
Actually,
bro.
I got you. At number 10, I went ahead and put NBA 2K11 on the list.
Word, not 12.
No, nothing else
12.
compares to 11. But since 2K is so fucking garbage nowadays, he got put at number 10 and no higher.
I feel that.
I only put it at number 10 because it was just to be there. And plus, I loved it when it first came out. Number 9, I put Horizon Zero Dawn.
Good choice.
Hello, damn.
Very good choice.
Yeah, I mean, I got a bunch of other games that I like way more than that.
I feel that.
But Horizon Zero Dawn is there because it actually made you adapt to the enemies. You couldn't just do the same shit over and over again. You had to actually pick and choose what you wanted to use and how to attack. And play on the defensive side as well. So it was a different game than most. And it wasn't necessarily an easy game to play, but it was very fun to play.
Yeah, I had a hard time with that game. I haven't beat it because of that.
Number 8. This is kind of low, but at the same time, the stuff higher than this is more stuff that I love more. Number 8 is God of War. PS4 version, of course.
Yeah.
Story,
Alright.
replayability,
All right.
and the entire game was just A1. 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100. You know what I'm saying? Recommend it highly at any price.
Talk to these guys.
That's the game I recommended for 64. That's the game I recommended for 64.
Fair enough.
I'm not paying 64 now.
Oh no, because they got it so low now, but it's a good game. That's why I said number 8.
Yeah, you getting robbed if you pay for it.
Yeah.
Number 7, I put Battlefield 3. That dropped in 2011. Just
Yeah, that did drop in 2011.
yeah, that came out beginning of the decade. That was one of the games I played early on in the 360 days. I like the Battlefield series in general over Call of Duty because one, destruction. You know, you can do a whole bunch of leveling on any map, and Battlefield 3 actually showed that you can really just topple a whole building down.
When did Bad Company 2 come out?
2009.
Bad
Company
10?
2 was
It was
2010.
10.
Okay.
Yeah, 2010. Number 6, I got Assassin's Creed Origins. And I was deciding between Origins and
wow.
Odyssey, but I went with Origins because of the Egyptian mythology that they did,
Yeah.
and I was more interested in that than Greek mythology. But it was surprisingly a good game, even though I took a break from Assassin's Creed since Brotherhood.
Yeah,
Brotherhood
that's
was
how
the
long
last
my
one,
break
and
was.
then I skipped the rest of them and then went to Origins, and I was like, damn, this is actually a good game. Even though it was like open world for no reason, but it was a good game. Number 5, I got Grand Theft Auto 5.
Makes sense.
That low?
Mainly, actually, both the campaign and the online experience was fun as hell. So there was no complaints about that game. And they actually do a good job of keeping it up as long as they did, even though they
I
refused
mean,
to give us.
it's still up.
Yeah,
Still up
they
to
keep
this day.
giving content for it. So, and then number 4, I got Borderlands 2.
You fucking Neanderthal.
Man, freaking grout.
What's up, nigga?
between Borderlands 2 and the first Borderlands, I think I put more hours into 2 and enjoyed it more. Plus, I played it with a bunch of my friends from back on the 360 days, and it had a lot more content.
A lot more content.
A lot.
A
Shout
lot.
out to Borderlands 2 for making top 5 on my list.
You understand, Randy Pitchford? A lot more content.
And you have no
Nigga.
day one bugs or nothing like that?
Nah,
I'm pretty sure it did, but I can't remember. I mean, it was.
I think
fun
I
to
think
play.
I think the best or the most used bug in that game whenever it launched was the fact that you could glitch Gunzerker to where he could be in constant Gunzerker mode. That was a fun glitch. So it was like,
You didn't even have to glitch it afterwards.
yeah.
It
No,
became
yeah.
like a
Towards the end of his
fucking-
skill tree, you could pretty much just be there for like
Yeah.
the entirety of a gunfight.
You could just keep, as long as you keep killing, you keep going.
Yeah.
That's off topic.
So that's my bottom 7. Borderlands rounding up the top, but this the bottom 7. Shout out to that.
Feel that. All right.
Make Borderlands 3 good
but-
again.
Please, for these gentlemen here.
Probably just wait for the probably just wait for the Mayhem edition to be.
Hey, probably the best you can do. Gemini Wolf,
Yes, sir.
you're 7, my man.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
set off
Mine
fireworks
is
at
actually going to
7
be
o'clock.
different than everyone else's.
Oh,
This is going to be a very interesting list.
Uh,
For one, I actually have
Hey,
card
hey,
games.
man, it's your list.
hey, yeah.
I know Halo gonna be on there.
you remember where to start, right, Wolf?
Yes, sir. Mr. Number 10.
All right, bro.
So my number 10 is actually going to be the most recent Need for Speed that just came out, which is Need for Speed Heat.
Really?
This is actually one of the best Need for Speeds that Ghost has ever made. And pretty much from 2010 onwards, the best Need for Speed that like money can buy right now. You're gonna
What was
get
the best Need
content.
for Speed game before this one?
The
Underground?
consensus is no. The consensus is Hot Pursuit within the decade.
I like the new Hot Pursuit or the old one.
The new one.
Yeah, see, my favorite one was Hot Pursuit 2, and that was on the PS2. That was a long
In
ass time ago.
2002.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
how big the consensus is. So
I'm gonna play
I
that game
love-
one day.
I love the atmosphere. The presentation was fucking phenomenal, and it's probably one of the biggest car lists ever in a Need for Speed game. So that was my number 10. My number 9, just like Blitz, Black Ops 2. I played the fuck out of Black Ops 2 on the Wii U of all things. What's crazy about the
That is a
I know.
sad story, sir.
Wii U.
I-
Let
I was fortunate-
Explain
I was-
yourself.
unfortunately enough to get myself a Wii U during the first year of its launch. It was a mistake. I'm not gonna lie to you. As we
Yeah,
speak right
the whole
now, it
console.
is in my display, collecting dust. But the best experience I've actually ever had was playing Black Ops 2 on the Wii U because I mean it was a good Call of Duty game. It had the best multiplayer of any Call of Duty game as can offer. Like I was actually having fun, and I don't like a lot of Call of Duties. And with the benefit of the Wii U, just a small little benefit, but I love it, was that on the display, that little freaking pad, the gamepad, you have either a map or in the campaign a whole list of like objectives that you can get because they have replay value, and you can actually like have it to where you can find out what list you need to get. Like, oh, did I collect all the intel? No, it says right there. Oh, I have to do this many challenges. I have to get this many headshots, like etc. Like that's the cool benefit of Black Ops on the Wii U. Another Nintendo game, Animal Crossing New Leaf. I
Numbers.
bought a 3D. I bought it. Yeah, I know it's crazy. I bought a 3DS the
What
day
number?
the day I got my new job, and I was traveling a lot. I was in the bus a lot. I was in the train. Had a lot of downtime, so it was really really nice to just pick up my 3DS, try to take out some weeds, talk to the neighbors, collect some fruit and all that stuff, and it was incredibly fun. To this day, I still remember
Chores.
some animal names because unfortunately I deleted my town. So
Goddamn.
rip to my little
My
homies.
man Nuketown, the town.
I nuked the whole town and I still regret it to this day. Anyway, number 7, Grid 2. Arguably one of the best grids in the series. It was very arcadey,
There's only two.
arcade sim racer. It was very, very fun. The tracks were phenomenal. I can still remember the tracks on my mind. I finally completed the campaign. It was just a nice overall driving experience, and I won't regret it ever spending my money on this one. Number 6, Honey Pop.
There it is.
Damn, I thought it was
Hey,
number one.
There it is.
You know what? I commend you for being the one to put it on there.
I'm
Hey, at
gonna,
least
I'm
he
gonna
being real
put
with
this one on
himself.
the list. I'm gonna be the
Fair
reason
enough.
why I put it this high on the list was a number of reasons, but I'm gonna just name off the little ones.
I saw it
spent
earlier.
140 hours on this game. I have 100%ed all the achievements on this game.
God damn.
I still love it. The soundtrack,
My
I
dude's still hard.
I have it right in my hand. No,
Whoa.
Well, yo.
Yo, keep it pushing. Keep it pushing.
okay. The soundtrack, I have a copy of it. I have it on my phone. That shit's a banger. The puzzle element combined with the fact that you're trying to date these girls, that you're trying to be your best, and you're trying to
That's where it gets weird.
try to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Trying to smash, bro.
That-
Harass?
Yeah, it's pretty much trying to not validate. Anyway, like really try
I
to
ain't doing that.
You
to
tryna
make him
smash,
happy and everything like that. It's a wonderful dichotomy of a puzzle that needs to have your mind and a dating which doesn't need your mind. It
Bitch,
needs
you
the
know
other
what that
mind.
word mean?
Yeah.
Don't talk to me, yo.
So from the explicit to the super sweet, my number 5 was A Hat in Time.
Ooh.
I
Must
swear,
be hot, yo. I ain't never heard of that.
bro.
Haven't
A Hat
heard
in
that
Time.
game
I've
in a
seen it
minute.
around.
Okay, so
That was one of the greatest indie games that year.
I love A Hat in Time to death. From the very start with the beautiful like title screen with like its bombastic like little pianos and shit to like the very end where I get to get the credits and then I denied Ribbon Girl or Mustache Girl a timepiece. Fuck that bitch.
Wow.
No, she's not getting a timepiece. She fucking robbed me of my entire thing, created a whole thing. Anyway,
Get her a rollie?
I was smiling. I was legitimately having a really great time. I was smiling. I was giddy. I was like, I was genuinely happy. I felt like I was in my childhood. That's how much I had in time was great for me, and I sincerely love it.
Okay.
Hey, that's what the game's supposed to do, dude.
And number 4, Killing Floor 2.
Ooh.
I thought
So
you'd
this
have
is
that.
a wave-based defense game that's just like you fight a certain amount of waves and then you get a boss. This game was in early access in 2015 and it went released in 2016. And then now it's a full game and everything like that. It's still getting content. It still has new bosses and new modes. There's a workshop with so many different maps and everything like that. And to this day, I still have a friend of mine who still like buys skins in order to customize his guns, and like whenever extras, he gives it to me. It's so much fun to just like from the reload animations to popping heads to like almost fucking dying and freaking sticking in your little healing dart in your vein is like it's incredibly fun to just feel good when
Yeah,
you're
drugs.
shooting something. Yeah, with guns. Because the gunplay and the reloading is just this like tactile feeling of joy. It's so great. So that's my bottom 7s.
Found it.
Okay.
Okay, that's solid. That's solid.
That's
All right.
I told you mine was gonna be weird.
fair enough.
Hey, that's your top. That's your 7 though. No, you don't I can take that away from you, bro.
Kenpachi got hentai games on his.
No,
It's too-
that's in my honorable mentions, but we gonna get to that.
Oh
Are
god.
you-
Oh
Bruh.
my god, bro.
Bro, that game's not even done yet.
Yo,
Neither is he.
it
Neither is
don't
he.
Wait.
matter,
what game?
Blitz. It don't matter.
All right.
You already know.
Oh.
Kenpachi, you're next, buddy.
Alright, I know. Alright, so for my 10, we'll start off the 7. Doki Doki Literature Club. That was my
Okay.
10.
Okay,
That
holy shit.
game was so traumatizing yet so good. And for a twisted game like that, for it to tell a story about these girls and just kind of to break the fourth wall in the way it did. Also, just the community to carry the story as it did on Twitch with people acting as the character to give it that little bit more
That was probably the
spice.
best part.
Yeah,
Probably the best.
that's definitely what drove it to be on my top 10 of the decade.
All for free, by the way.
Yeah, that's all for free, all for free. I
Well,
would
we
definitely
need the
recommend the game.
we need the actual horror game that nigga was supposedly working on. That Doki Doki was supposed to be in
Yeah,
promotion for.
we
I
definitely
don't.
gonna need that
You want to talk
cause
about a nigga that took the money and left the country?
that nigga took
Mm.
the bag.
He pulled a
and
Sean
did.
Murray, yo. That nigga got nervous.
He did.
He be no, he be on
did.
Twitter, but he acting like he didn't say he was gonna make a horror.
What?
Yeah, I read like the little information on it. Like he said the backstory and the lore and everything. But yeah, that's my number 10. It's
Just
a free
Monica,
game.
man.
Yeah. You can get it too.
Yeah, she's alright, but
She
come on,
alright.
man.
Alright.
But yeah, my number 9, just like Chef, I have to go with Battlefield 3. That is one of the games that I have over 1,000 hours in. That's all I did play when
Nerd.
I was back on the PS3.
I'm so sad I
Then
missed
my
that.
damn disc broke, so that
Ah,
was the end of my career.
that's tough.
That
That
was
is
the-
actually pretty tough. I will be heated.
Yeah, that was the end of my career. So
Did you throw the disc?
Tragic.
nah, I still have the disc. It's somewhere around
This
here.
nigga still got this broke ass disc.
Yo, I'm hurt,
What's
bruh.
that? What's that doing for you? Throw it away.
I don't know, bruh.
Yeah,
but
you gotta let
it's,
that shit
fix
go.
you
it's a
one day,
piece of
Listen,
memorabilia,
clean-
bruh.
Bury that
Clean
shit.
I was so
Nah,
hurt,
just
bruh.
let it go.
That ass
For
get a new one
2020,
off
just let-
Amazon for like $6.
There you
Like
go,
$2.
bam.
Bruh, I was so
Yeah, I
hurt,
was
bruh.
balling.
Hey, but just kind of the same reason for Chef. Just the destruction in the game just added that more. It immersed you in the game even more. Also the sound was really good for that time. Also the gun mechanics and everything was just on point. The story was solid, and the multiplayer was even better. It was just good all around. My number 8 is Killzone 3, and
Is that the PS4 launch title? Or is that the one before?
No, that's
that?
Shadowfall. That's the
yeah, that was
Okay.
Shadowfall. But Killzone 3 story, I played. I think that wasn't a game I had 1,000 hours in, but I definitely had well over 500 hours in it. Just from the multiplayer, and I played the campaign multiple times. I don't know. I just like the aesthetic of it. It was something different from your standard Call of Duty Battlefield. And also the multiplayer was very fun. I don't know if you guys played it, but it was definitely something different. Definitely a change of pace, and the guns just sound amazing. The sounds in Killzone is just quality. For my number 7, we have Assassin's Creed 3. That is hands down. I don't give a fuck what Chef say. That's the best Assassin's Creed ever
It
fucking
is.
made.
That came out this decade?
Yeah.
What year?
2011?
It was 11, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did I play
So-
3? No, I did not. See?
You
Yeah.
tripping,
Well,
bro.
it was the first one on multiplayer, and the multiplayer was actually pretty good.
The multiplayer
But the
was
story
fucking
itself was really
fire.
good too.
Yeah.
Like that game all around was like Assassin's Creed 2 with multiplayer on steroids.
That shit was a solid game all around, bro. I would definitely recommend. Yo, I don't care how old that shit is. These old games hit. Definitely
older
better
than
than
shit.
some of the shit that's coming out nowadays.
I concur.
Um,
I've noticed a lot of like pre 2015 shit.
Yeah,
On my list.
Shit is heat. But the multiplayer was probably even more than the campaign. I 100% the game twice. The campaign
Nerd.
is phenomenal, and the multiplayer was it. The multiplayer aspect was so unique in a sense that it had different maps, it had different modes, even though it's kind of still the same, like, oh, you assassinating blah blah blah, but it was kind of like okay, you have to protect this person, and it was kind of like a rotating protection thing. It was just an interesting gimmick to it, and that's for as long as the game lasted. Like it holds pretty well. Um, and also Connor Kenway's that nigga, so I mean it's whatever to be honest. My number 5 is Soul Calibur 6.
Oh
Blitz,
wow.
yeah, Blitz put me onto the game. Um, and
What number?
honestly, huh?
What
6.
number you said? 6. Okay.
Yeah, number 6.
6 on 6.
Yeah, Soul Calibur 6.
6 on 7.
Um, and yeah, Blitz put me onto the game a while. I think it was earlier this year or last year when you put me onto the game.
Whenever it came out.
Yeah,
Last year.
Yeah, it was
Even
last
before
year.
it came out, you were so hyped for it.
Was I? I don't.
No.
Yeah, I don't think. I think Blitz. When the game came out, Blitz told me about it, and I was like, all right, I'll try it out. And then.
Billets.
been fucking with it.
Blitz.
I don't know.
Blitz.
I'm having trouble, but yeah.
Yeah, clearly.
When I first initially bought it, fell in love with the game. Definitely held my attention for a minute, learned the game. Enter a couple tournaments with Blitz. Actually,
Awesome.
yeah, of course I fucking lost. But just what the game has,
Who's starting the car?
it's always gonna get my attention. I'm not always in the mood for a fighting game. But when I am in the mood for a fighting game, Soul Calibur is definitely the number one choice. And also thank you Bliss for bringing me into the game, bro. Shit's nice.
Hey, you're welcome. Trying to get season 3 out here.
Hey, yo, facts. World tour. Um, and what is it? Fucking number 5.
Mhm.
Destiny 2. Actually, can I put Destiny and Destiny 2 in here?
No.
No.
Damn.
They're two
Let's do
different
one or
games,
the
my
other.
brethren.
Fuck.
Hey, my nigga.
Damn, bro. That would have been
Damn.
in my like top 10
My
like
nigga for that
fails
one,
in
on
the
God.
decade.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, I hate Destiny 2.
That's one of your worst games of the decade?
Yeah, I hate that game.
Oh.
Yeah, he played it at launch.
Oh, that's your mistake. Fuck. All right, I guess I'll go with Destiny then. Destiny just
Destiny 2?
because. Nah,
Oh.
Destiny.
Destiny 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fucking raids in the DLC was just amazing.
Oh my god, y'all were impossible.
Yo, that
I remember
shit
watching
was
the streams just to laugh.
amazing, bro.
Nah, that was Mitch.
What are you talking about?
Destiny 2 definitely carried. I wouldn't say it carried the mantle fully of Destiny, but it did a good job, and it's still doing a pretty good job of holding it. It was just, I don't know, Crota, that shit was just nice, bro. The music,
Don't worry,
the
so.
guns,
Ain't none hit like Crota, bro.
Yo, the Crota raid shit was god tier, bro. Shit was definitely goated. Yeah, I feel like I have more to say on Destiny, but I haven't played in a while, so. Yeah. What was that? That was 5. Number 3.
4?
Yo,
Number
4.
four?
I'm tripping.
Hello?
I'm tripping.
Oh,
My
yeah,
bad.
flu.
bro.
Damn, bro.
I'm tripping, bro. My bad.
This is y'all's leader?
My bad.
Hell no.
Number 4. Shit. Near Automata. I don't need to say anymore.
Blasphemous.
Out of
You gotta
my
finish the
mind.
game.
I ain't
First,
finished
there's
the
some-
game.
You gotta finish the
I
game
ain't finished
first.
the game, but that
You-
shit.
you
that
need to
shit
get-
4. Shit 4 already, bro. You ain't finished the game.
Yeah, you did that, yo.
Damn, bro.
Yup.
Damn.
Yup. And that's that.
Man, put shit on his list, he ain't even finished. That's crazy.
That shit that good, bro. Shit that
He put
good.
shit on his
Nah,
list.
that
He didn't
end's
even
probably
finish.
trash. You don't even know it. You probably looking stupid right now.
It's not trash, bro. I guarantee you it's not trash. But yeah, that's my 7.
Oh, where did he come from?
All right,
Over there.
main
Next
man
is
Mario. It's your 7, man.
Yo, yo. Alright.
Yeah,
alright,
yeah.
So number 10, I got Battlefield 3.
Mm.
I don't need to say anything about that because you already pretty much said everything. Number
That was a
9,
number.
I got Middle Earth: Shadow of War.
Ooh.
I-
Shadow
I-
of
it's-
Mordor?
Not Mordor.
Not Mordor?
No, not Mordor. Not Mordor.
Okay, let me ask you about that. Did you finish the game before or after they patched the second half? Or
Before.
like the last?
Ooh.
Act 4,
rough,
I
yo.
remember. That's why it's so.
That's
why it's
rough,
so,
yo. I commend you. I never finished it because of
Yeah,
that.
see, if there was no Act 4, it would be like number 4 or 3, but it's number
Yeah.
9
Yeah,
just for that act. Yeah, because when that
Yeah.
came out, that shit was terrible.
yeah.
All right, But yeah, number 9, Middle Earth Shadow War. Number 8, got Assassin's Creed Origins.
Hmm.
True.
You know,
Bloody
the
Heroes.
Egyptian mythology.
Absolutely.
Bayek was dope. Bayek Siwa. Uh, Number 7, I got Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain.
I had that
That
on
shit
my
was
list. I
mad
took
fun.
it off.
That shit was so fun.
Yeah.
And if you like
Yeah.
Metal Gear, it was really good.
I really need to play Metal Gear.
Facts.
Number 6, I got Dark Souls 3.
Woo,
It was my favorite Dark Souls. The one I had most fun with. All that good shit. Number 5, I got NBA 2K11.
Hey,
Best 2K game ever made.
feel me?
First one with the
Just
Jordan
ask.
shoes. I remember.
Feel me?
All right, number 4 is Dishonored 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice,
I like
nice,
Dishonored
nice.
2 a lot.
Solid pick.
And
Solid
then
pick.
that's my top 10 to 4.
I'm under the impression that you played Dishonored 1.
Yeah, I did.
I just wanted to make sure.
Are you done already,
I don't know why, but
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not-
Yeah,
I don't know
I
why.
have a lot to
Yeah,
say.
he don't
I
drag
wanna
that
make
shit
sure.
out like some people.
Ran through. All right, yo.
Yo.
Nice shade, nigga. Go
I'm
ahead,
next,
bro.
nigga.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, let the black go first.
We've been waiting.
Let the black go first.
Yo, been waiting. He been waiting.
Why you gotta be so
All right,
This
aggressive?
nigga ate all of his tree bark
Shut
snacks
up,
wings.
nigga. That shit up.
Oh,
All right,
no.
listen. All right, y'all already know my number 3 or my number 10, Dark Souls 3. A lot of good times. A lot of probably one of the most challenging games I've played.
I didn't know that though, but
Obviously, the gameplay is good. The lore, even though Dark Souls is infamous for not being like blatant with their lore, it's really good. And yeah, it was good fun, a good challenge. Put 136 hours without even thinking about it. And yeah, number 9, Dragon Age Inquisition. This game is so slept on, it doesn't make sense. Even though it won Game of the Year, it's like I feel like people don't give it the credit that it deserves. It's one of the greatest RPGs like of this decade. The combat is so good. The oh, my bad. I just got a text. The combat's great, the story is great, the soundtrack is great. The variation between classes, how you customize your companions is just, there's so much. The game is just free, man. It lets you be you in that game, and for that, I'm eternally thankful to that game, because it's just not many RPGs are hitting like that these days. Number 8, this one hurt my soul to put it down this hard, or this low, because I couldn't get to that final palace, because I dragged my feet a little bit. But Persona 5, I could not, like I said, I couldn't get to that final palace because I dragged my feet doing so much bullshit. But the game, y'all already know Persona, like one of the greatest turn-based RPGs of our time. It's the first turn-based game that I really like put time and effort to, because I just couldn't get captivated by them previously. Like I played Dragon Quest a long time ago. Played other turn-based games. This game right here was just it and like the emotion that game gave me, like how happy it made me while playing it, just like exploring, like just that singular part of Japan was just like so lively. The life that Joker leads and like him and his friends is just great. Number 7, I have Destiny 1. 1,000 the first game I ever put 1,000 hours into. That game, just content after content after content. I don't give a fuck what anybody says about that launch. I picked it up in February when Crota was already out. The Crota raid, amazing. Some of the best end-game content in the game. Oryx's court, or not court of Oryx, my bad. King's Fall, great. Just some of the greatest end-game content in that game to me. Number 6, Borderlands 2. Chef already told y'all about it. It was Borderlands, bro. Another game I put 1,000 hours into. Fucking great game, man. All the characters were fun to be around, to play as. All the classes, all the customizability with the guns, the class mods, all that, just great, man.
Hold on, before you get to number 5, did you actually say the game for number 7?
Yeah, number 7 was Destiny.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
My bad.
Number 5, Mass Effect 2. top like 3 greatest endings to a video game. Matt, like the
I had this
combat
shit
in
on my
that
list
game with the
too.
biotics. I fucking love the combat in Mass Effect, man. And 2 just besides Andromeda 2 just was that nigga, man. It was that nigga with that shit. And obviously the story, the fact that your entire fucking team could die, like these characters that you grew to love, if you fucked up, they could all just die in an instant. Was just great. My bad, I'm sort of speedrunning. And number 4 is Divinity Original 2. Again, heavily slept on. Great, one of the greatest RPGs I've ever played. Probably like top 3, top 5. And another game that's turn-based combat really captivated me. I never felt bored with that game at all. Like the storytelling in that game was pretty top notch with the whole God woken shit. Basically, you being God, whatever. That shit was great. And again, with all your companions, how customizable they were, their own stories. Like Lose's side story was one of the greatest in that game. It probably is the greatest, and like just the fact that damn near every character that you like had an important relationship with had something going on that like intrigued you. So yeah, that's my 7, and I gotta go get my food. So thanks for listening.
Thanks for like he's done.
This man was like, all right, I gotta go.
He said I'm kind of speed running.
Type shit.
All right.
cool.
Nice sheet. 7, bro.
All right. God damn. At my number 10, I got Dying Light. Studio Techland being the people that made Dead Island, I like Dead Island a lot, even though it was kind of trash looking back on it. Dying Light, like, was like the big brother on steroids that just made that shit look trash. And I put a lot of hours in that game, yo. I still think it's one of the best games, like zombie games, to come out in the decade at least. And I'm honestly, I can't wait for Dying Light 2. My number 9, I got Rise of the Tomb Raider. I wasn't sure which one to put in there because I liked the first one, and I'm like maybe an hour or 2 away from beating the third one. But the second one, just from how much I played the third one, the second one, just the scenes and like the sets and stuff that they had, the backgrounds, all the different things you would see in that game were just beautiful, and the combat and just the way you explore and stuff like that was dope. My number 8 was BioShock Infinite. I started to put BioShock 2, but Infinite was just, I don't know, it just felt better. Even though I thought the cool aspect of BioShock was that you were underwater, and the fact that this one was in the air, I thought it was gonna be trash. But it ended up being pretty dope. Like Blitz, I haven't played the DLC, unfortunately, but I still think it's a good game.
Was that your number 10?
That's my number 8.
What was your number 10 and 9? My bad.
10 was Dying Light, and 9 was Red.
Okay.
And my number 7 is Destiny.
Hmm.
One.
Yeah.
One.
We got you,
One.
bro. We got you.
We'll make
Not
sure
2.
everybody understands that. 1, not 2.
I know.
Hey,
I like 2. But they've tried to replicate what they did with Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 by coming out with big DLCs in September, but the big DLCs just haven't hit like the Taken King did. Unfortunately, like none of them have been to that extent of content and that groundbreaking and changing. They've kind of kept the same races and everything in the same rotation in Destiny 2, whereas Destiny 1, it had a rough start and it got kind of rough, like somewhere in the middle. But whenever Taken King came out, it was just an upward shift the entire time. I put probably about 2,000 hours in that game. Honestly, I spent so much time playing that game. I don't even want to talk about it. It makes me sad. My number 6. I'm surprised no one's had it. Maybe you guys on the higher on the list, considering how popular it is now. But I have Minecraft.
I'm
It's
not in
him.
Minecraft.
I got it. I got it.
Yeah. I put it lower on my list because I don't play it anymore. Unfortunately, like I try to play it and I play it every now and then, but I just get bored after a few hours because like most
honestly the
people,
same.
I've put so many hours into that and nothing has come of it. There's not. I can show you nothing that I've done.
Because it's either erased or like it's just lost in some server.
But it is one of those games that if you're feeling sad or you just having a bad day, you can literally just pop that shit in, play it, hear the calming music, and just build some shit, yo.
Ooh, ooh.
pretty much. My number 5 is Warframe, and Warframe is my top 3. But then I thought about it, and it's similar to like Minecraft, where I don't really play it as much anymore. I'll probably return one day. They usually take about 6 months to like 6 to 9 months off at a time because I play it so much and then I burn out. But I've got a because I started playing it on Xbox, and then when I got a PC, I started playing it on PC. Between PC and Xbox, I think I have like 1,800 hours in the game, which is again, that's stupid. Um, but the game just constantly evolving, and looking at where it was in 2013 to where it is now, it's crazy to see how much has changed and evolved. Hopefully, I don't have to drop it this next decade either. And then my number 4 is Halo Reach. Uh, Really the best Halo to come out this decade, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
With 4 and 5 being absolute dog shit.
And MCC being a terrible launch.
Yeah. I could put MCC on there for PC because it just launched here, but again, that's just Halo Reach. So, you know, but yeah, I had a lot of fun at Halo Reach. I didn't put it on there just because it's Halo. It's probably a tie between Halo Reach and Halo 3 is my favorite, but yeah, Halo Reach was just a lot of fun back in the day. I had so many friends that we would just stay up all night doing dumb shit in custom games, as you normally would in a Halo game. But yeah, that's my top 7 ish.
Ish.
Yeah.
All right. Chef, we doing honorable mentions now.
Yep.
All right. You gonna run down as well.
Yeah, the same way we just did our bottom 7. So
Alright.
start at number 3 for your honorable mentions and go up to number 1.
All right. Starting with Blitz.
Yep.
All right.
All right. All right. Honorable mentions. This one was kind of tough for me. I actually had a harder time with honorable mentions than with my actual top 10 list.
Hi, Key.
Because I had to leave some stuff off. Spoiler alert, I did want to put Borderlands 2 as part of honorable mentions, but
Damn.
for
Did
one,
it
I
get
feel
the
like
cut?
it did because I feel like even though I spent a lot of time on Borderlands 2, I got into it late. Late as in like last year or whenever they announced Borderlands 3. So I feel like I haven't I spent a lot of time on the game itself, but I haven't been a fan for that long to say that it's really, held my attention. So yeah, so actually my first honorable mention is a game that's from the same studio. I think Atlas does Persona, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm actually gonna go with Catherine as the first
Mm.
honorable mention.
That is a good honorable
This was
mention.
it was a really interesting game to me because like if you look at the cover, especially like the box art for the PS3 version, it's just it's a dude with in between some girls' titties and stuff. You think it's like some kind of like etchy game, right? Like nah, actually it's a puzzle game that deals with some pretty heavy elements when it comes to like relationships and fidelity and all that kind of. So I actually found that actually kind of unique. So that's why I stuck with that. Plus, um, the puzzles and the gameplay was really fun. Like there was like time when I was playing it in college where like I had a couple people that would that live in the same floor as me. They'd come across to my room and they would take turns like trying to do the puzzles and shit, just playing the game. Um, so yeah, shout out first honorable mention, Catherine. Second honorable mention, Dragon Age Inquisition. Uh,
The fuck was that, yo? Yo, fix yourself.
That was a
You-
death
Yo,
cry,
fix
yo.
yourself.
I feel like he wanted to go high pitched, but he couldn't quite take him there. That's
I mean, he was just there like last year. He needs to relax.
Wow.
He just got. He's
Yeah, a lot
just
changed.
evolving.
a lot changes in a year. But what's the name? Yeah, so typically I don't play a lot of RPGs. But this one I don't even again, this is like a lot of my favorite games, I don't even remember how I got into them, made me pick them up. I just kinda picked them up one day. And Dragon Age was one of those. I think I wanted to try the series as a try, and the Inquisition just so happened to be the first game that I picked up because I think it was came out in 2014, I think.
Yeah.
So it was the latest one, so I decided to just pick that up. I figured it'd be a good place to start. And like Mitch was talking about, he covered a lot of the points earlier with it. The customization and the freedom that you have with your character and your party members is really good. I did like the the atmosphere for it. It kind of reminded me of Witcher, but not as like grisly and gritty as Witcher. But still had that really good fantasy feel to it. I thought that was kind of cool. Um, I got to go back and finish it. I don't know how long that game is as far as the campaign, but I put a pretty decent amount of time into it. I probably have like somewhere between 35 and 40 hours. Um, but yeah, so second honorable mention, Dragon Age Inquisition. Um, last honorable mention, this was on my list at first, but then after thinking about it and really looking at the other games I had to make a cut. So Tekken 7 honorable mention. Because like I've played Tekken before 7 came out. I've had it like in the past and it was okay to me, but Soul Calibur is home for me. I just really can't play anything else. It's the same studio, it's a lot of the same dev teams. Like they kind of do Soul Cal and Tekken at the same. A lot of those team members share like team members, so I like Tekken. Like I really like the presentation for Tekken 7. The music is fire. There's a lot of the character design is dope. Because I act like every time when I've talked to people about Tekken, they say, "Who do you main?" I'm like, I can't really tell them. There's so many characters that I really like, from Anna to Jin to Asuka to fucking Lily to Heihachi
Lily.
to
Noctis.
Noctis.
No.
Nah, bro, don't
Noctis
get
is
on-
all right, but he didn't. I don't really like. But yeah, like the character design is really dope. And then they have a huge roster. I'm kind of hoping that they do like a Tekken Tag Tournament 3, or they have a new game that has the roster of Tekken Tag 2, because a lot of my favorite characters are in that game. In this game. But yeah, to me, like as I was thinking about it, like I said, it was on my top 10. I think it was like my number 10 at first, but as I started thinking about it, like it's really, I feel like the barrier to entry for Tekken is a lot higher than other fighting games, because like you can play it for a little bit, and then if you stay off of it for like a week, 2 weeks, and then you come back to it, you just feel so like you feel like you can't do shit. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that game that makes it so stiff and kind of rugged sometimes. And then plus to me, I feel like I enjoy Tekken the most when it's as a spectator. like watching all, like this is like the last couple years has been the first time I really started to follow competitive fighting games for the first time. And Tekken's probably that has the hypest matches. From what I've seen so far. So like I feel like I enjoy Tekken as a spectator, which is kind of fucked up. It's still fun to play. I have well over 100 hours, but like I said, SoCal is home for me. I can't really switch off any other game for that one. So yeah, my honorable mentions.
Alrighty.
Do I clap? That's what's clap.
Hmm.
You can do whatever you want. I'm not doing. I cannot.
I'm clapping. I'm silent clapping.
Using your hands.
All right.
Nah, my feet.
What's wrong with y'all?
Alright, Chef.
You really wanna know?
Just stop.
Got you. I got you.
You're my mama.
My honorable mentions is actually out of whack. I just threw 3 on there. They are the 3 that I have in honorable mentions, but they're not in the right order. And I was gonna put The Witcher on there, but I made that cut, and it's not even on my list anyway.
Damn.
Yeah. But starting at the number 3 honorable mention is Fallen Order, Star Wars.
Hmm.
Even though the game literally just came out, it was actually a pretty good game from EA.
That is
Like
Yes.
surprisingly from EA, it was actually pretty good and worth replaying through again, which I did. And plus it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
A good Star Wars production. That's what it is. Number 2, I got Bad Company 2, because Battlefield is life. I enjoy both Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3. So I think those, what is that, like back to back they came out? Yeah. Where did it go? Yeah, Battlefield 3 came out in 2011, and Bad Company 2 was 2010. So starting out the decade strong with Battlefield was.
And then they just forgot how to make good Battlefield.
I don't know what happened with 4.
I thought 4 wasn't that bad. I thought
Nah,
Hard
Nah,
was
4 was
starting out.
alright.
Starting
good.
out,
Harlan
it was
right.
it was
Yeah,
but it patched itself up.
Launcher was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't even play it. I just saw people play it, and that was It was
It's just
a struggle to watch.
Crash after
Right.
crash.
And then my top honorable mention is Mass Effect 2.
Mm.
One of the best
Okay.
RPGs, stories, and all of that. Choice making, Paragon Renegade, all of that good shit. Mass Effect 2 is my top honorable mention. Doesn't make my top list, but it is one of the good games of the decade. Only because Mass Effect 3 just didn't do it justice.
I gotta
To
get
me,
the
it
res-
didn't. To me,
I
it
gotta
didn't.
get I gotta get the resolution issue on that fixed. I showed me how to do it today, so I gotta go back and finish 2.
So those are my honorable mentions.
Alright. Gemini Wolf.
Whoo boy. Whoo boy. Yeah, I agree with Blitz. This thing was hella hard. So hard, in fact, that I don't have 3, I have 10, but I'm gonna name them out real quick.
Yo,
Ready?
yo.
Alright, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
I don't
Ready?
even know what he
Yo,
said.
I got-
what you
can't do that.
doing?
Damn.
No, overruled, Wolf. Come on now. Just
God,
read.
You
Bruh.
more than tripled the,
Nah,
the limit.
I wasn't gonna like explain why I put him in honorable mention, but
Hey, yo, this
I'll-
nigga
I'll-
cheating.
I'll concur.
Just
I'll
three.
concur.
Three,
Nah, I'll
just
concur.
three.
I'll concur.
Just
Got
3,
it.
Wolf.
I got
Come
you.
on now.
I got you. Ready? So my third one is Car Mechanic Simulator 2015.
What?
This was the
Wait,
second.
whoa.
Yeah,
Run
yeah.
that by me again.
So the Car Mechanic Simulator is basically
Oh,
a
Car
game.
Mechanic.
Oh,
Yeah,
Car
Car
Mechanic.
We
Mechanic.
didn't,
You said
we
it
didn't
so
understand what you
fast,
said.
bruh.
Yeah. We
It
were
sound
like,
like it sound like you had caramel stuck to the roof of your
My
mouth.
bad. So my third honorable mention is Car Mechanic Simulator 2015. I spent a good
Okay.
amount of hours. It's a very relaxing game, similar to like Minecraft. I thoroughly enjoyed it. My second is Super Mario Maker on the Wii U, not the second one, but the Wii U version. Because I've noticed that it's really, really easy just to like make levels from the heart. The sequel, because I played the sequel, it's kind of difficult to do that because I don't really have the need to like really make levels on the fly. As a matter of fact, it's actually sitting on my shelf. I haven't played it often. That's how kind of sad it is. But with the first one, I spent a lot of hours. I enjoyed the game, had a lot of fun, and all that jazz. And my final honorable mention is actually Halo Reach. Considering that I'm a big Halo fan and I thoroughly enjoy like the Halo saga, and was like super mad at the announcement of Halo 4. Never played it until like now. I just didn't really put a lot of hours to it than say Halo 3. Like I played Halo 3 way too much. Like Halo 3 was literally my first Xbox 360 game ever. And I can't even imagine how many hours I put on custom games alone. From like boxing to Duck Hunt to Halo, like the map game, infection games, straight up SWAT. Like it's incredible. So to finally play Halo Reach now on PC does commend to being on my honorable mentions, but not on my list.
I feel that.
okay.
Because it's a 10-year-old game.
Um.
Thanks for stopping me, y'all.
Hey, thank you. Thank you yourself.
I was about to go ham sandwich in that.
My honorable mention number 3 is Elite Dangerous. I'm a geek for space and sci-fi.
Flight simulator?
Elite Dangerous.
It's not a
I
flight.
think that's a
simulator.
space flight simulator, yo.
It
It is,
Mm.
and I like
It does.
space. So I mean, hey,
Yeah,
I'm fucking
I feel
with
there's
it.
a lot of space in there, huh?
Ah.
It really is.
You alright?
What the fuck?
What's going on?
I don't know, but what was I trying to say? Fucking. So yeah,
Yeah, honorable mentions.
yeah. So I'm happy for the fucking
Oh,
stream.
you're whatchamacallit.
Yeah.
I ain't do it.
So yeah, Elite Dangerous. I like anything with space sci-fi. So, it just reminded me of me and my granddad watching Star Trek. So I was just like, hey, fuck it. Like, why not play it? Played it a little bit, enjoyed it. So I feel like also it's not done yet, but when it is done, I plan on picking it up fully and just playing it. So yeah, my number 2 is PUBG. Just because that's yo,
God damn.
That shit was funny. That's why.
bruh.
Or did you
Yeah.
say number 2?
Yeah.
You already did your honorable mentions?
I am right now. I'm doing
No,
it
these
right
are
now.
the honorable mentions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
Oh,
is
I
the
was,
second
I
honorable
was like,
mention.
what?
Yeah. Yeah, PUBG. Just because, man, there's so many clips of just me streaming in the early days of just PUBG. That game was
Bro, I'm
so
mad.
fun with the squad, bruh. Ah, man, it's just
I
so
thought I
many
was gonna
good
be the only
memories.
that day.
Nah, man, the pub is fucking nice with the
I'm
squad,
saying
bro.
people forgot how quick, how much fun they had on pub.
Yeah, that shit was amazing, bro. Especially when the 8-mans, man.
Before the dark times when Fortnite took over.
Yeah.
Yo,
Hey,
goddamn.
Hey, yo, who got Fortnite on their list?
It's me,
Yo,
bro.
if someone
Nah,
has Fortnite, you're
y'all
getting
out
paused. It's on
early.
site.
Getting disowned.
Getting Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was, it's your list.
No,
Just
no.
Nah,
because
fuck
hella
that.
You're
We
wrong.
can't we can't allow that. We
No,
can't allow
wrong.
that.
Fuck
No?
Hell no.
Not top
bro.
three.
Hey, we over-
Not
I
top
mean,
three.
what if I
Not in their top 3. If it's in their top 3,
what if I told you I
my shit's
played
not
for?
on top 3.
If you
I
I
played
play
Fortnite, but it's
Fortnite.
not
We
on
all
top
play
3.
Fortnite.
I-
Pretty sure.
I
Now,
ain't
I
never
put-
played
now-
Fortnite.
Now I played Fortnite back when it was known as a tower defense game. I remember that.
I ain't never touched that game. Not once.
I
Back
wanted to
when
get
it was
that game.
originally supposed to be what it was. I didn't play that battle royale joint.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah, my number one mention, Blitz already know. I'm just saying MGI, Monster Girl Island. You already know.
Yeah.
Gang,
It's a-
gang,
Yeah.
gang. Hey, if you know what the game is, go ahead and search it up on Steam. You feel me? You already know what to do.
I mean,
It was
man
either
got
going
a
to be Monster
Patreon.
Girl Island or Honey Pop.
Yeah. My man got a Patreon, so go ahead and support.
I'm not gonna hold you, Wolf. I only give it to Monster Girl Island because first of all, that game is free.
Yeah.
The content for that game for being
The
free.
way
Is it stellar?
the way that game looks and
Yeah.
Looks and functions is
and
incredible.
functions all for free.
Not only
I
that,
don't know
but
if
the
you can beat that.
animations. The
can't.
animations are legitimately great. Like
Yeah.
I've only seen you guys play it, and it actually not baffles me, but like it's incredible how detailed those animations are. And we know what type of animations we talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my honorable mention.
If you want any indication as to how close that game was close to making Kenpachi's top 10, I
Hey.
think I downloaded that game and I had it. It took me about 3 days to get to the point where the beta was over. I told Kenpachi about it. This nigga got to the same point I was in one night.
Your boy.
It took
is
me 3
fucking
days.
Nice, bruh. If I set my mind to a
Stupid.
game, yo, I could beat it in a night. Trust.
That was nuts, yo.
I
Uh,
would
I
you.
high key should play that game.
Yeah,
He
not
said
not
not
Witcher.
Witcher.
Of course not. The fuck. I could probably beat The Witcher in a day, but I don't
No, you
know.
can't. No,
No,
you
you
can't. Don't
can't,
lie like
bro.
that again.
It's really impossible. It's really impossible.
Don't lie like that again, bro.
Alright, bro.
Yo, Mitch, you want to relax?
Nah, bro.
Yeah,
That shit
for real,
just
for real, you gotta-
that triggered me, bro. Nah,
Right,
that triggered me.
It's
'cause
really,
I-
it's
I'm
really
about to
No,
take
you
the
can't.
fire.
No, you can't.
It's 1,000 hours.
Nah, it's
See,
not.
see?
Lord have mercy.
That nigga don't want
it's
feral.
impossible to do that, Kenpachi. You can't do that. 24 hours sit. It's impossible.
Even if you played all 24 hours, you wouldn't
Even if he was wearing a diaper, nah.
I'm not even
Yeah.
kidding.
Alright,
You wouldn't even get
I
like
was
20%
not
through the
expecting
game.
that, but okay.
Don't lie to yourself, bro.
Alright,
Alright,
Get
so let me
far,
get
but he won't beat the
my
game.
honorable mentions out the way. Feel me?
Alright, go ahead, Mark.
You feel me?
Feel
All
you,
right,
feel
so
you.
my first honorable mention, you feel me, is PUBG. You feel me?
Hey,
PUBG was that game when it
hey.
came out. I remember when Kenpachi and Bands were throwing grenades on themselves. That shit was funny.
We have so many clips of that. Ty shooting
So many
top
clips
of his
just from
lungs.
that game. I would say about 95% of our content pre 2019 was all PUBG.
Facts.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Facts.
absolutely.
Vince
Fucking
rolled
love
off the
Facts.
cliff in the
Anyway.
car and exploded. yo.
Anyway, we gonna blitz through these honorable mentions. All right.
Oh,
Number
man.
2, Fight Night Champion, baby.
Oh,
Hey,
shit.
Shout out to
I
Timo.
I had to put a Fight Night that did come out 2011.
Oh, I thought it came out like 2009. My bad.
Nope, I think 2009 was round 4.
Hmm.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun on Champion. They had a good story mode. Andre Bishop, that's what it was. Andre Bishop, not Andre Reed. Andre Bishop.
What?
Yeah, no, the story mode for Champion.
Okay.
Andre Bishop. Anyway, and then my last honorable mention is
Yeah.
actually Mass Effect 3.
Ooh.
Not 2.
Really?
Because even though the ending was trash, I had a lot more fun with the guns in like 3 than 2. and as a Vanguard. That's,
Yo, I hate to
first
cut you
semester I
off,
played
Mario. But
Vanguard.
yo, Mitch, what you doing, yo?
My bad, yo. My bad. My
You
bad.
know
my
you
bad.
being rude, yo.
My bad. My
A
bad.
grown ass man talking.
Go ahead.
Nigga,
Yeah, that's the end of
Jesus.
my honorable mentions.
Shout out to
Thank
yo,
you,
shout
thank
out to
you.
Mass Effect 3. Shout out to Mass Effect 3.
I gotta get there.
All right.
True.
Michelin Man. The nigga that
Mitch,
was
go,
eating-
please,
Oh,
Mitch.
okay, yo, okay.
Please.
Hey,
Jesus.
Oh, now you don't want to go.
Lord.
Okay.
No, hold on. He was
Honor-
mid-chew. He was. Come on, man.
Honorable mentions. Number Trace. Overwatch. So many hours put into that game. We already know the deal with Overwatch, man. Hours upon hours
Oh, you mean you ghosting?
playing Overwatch. Shut up. Playing just running the
hate that I was
game
waiting
backs,
for that.
man. Just getting all these skins. You know what I'm saying? So many good times in this Discord alone
JFK.
playing that game.
Oh
yeah,
my God,
Chef
bro.
getting
Jesus
JFK.
Christ.
You know what I'm saying? All the
Me
toxicity with
dragging
Aaron
Stanley's
and
ass
Goats.
across the finish line.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
All that
Wait,
toxicity, man.
Speaking of Stanley, with the time when I was bashing, he was Mercy, and I'm shooting at the choke
That
point,
shit
and
was
then
hilarious.
this man
yo.
said, "I forgot to heal you."
That was so funny. That was so funny. It's one fucking
That
person.
is hands down the most fun I've ever had with friends. It's
That
just
shit is goated, bro.
this is fucking
Alright.
classics, man. And
And
then
then Overwatch League started.
Overwatch, yeah. The fall Overwatch to us, but you know, it was a good like what not 6 months, like probably 6
It was-
months.
We know
Yeah,
how
it was a good. It was a good. long
I
time.
played it for a good year and a half.
Like
No, yeah,
just
the
coming
first
in
year?
here,
You
The
motherfucker
first,
built a
yeah,
computer
the
for
first
that
year
shit.
and like 5-6.
yeah. Just coming in
Trying
here
to
saying,
get their money's
yo,
worth.
trying to play Overwatch, get a 6-stack, get to having fun, man.
Hey,
Like,
yo,
learning that
Kenpachi.
game, all that shit, just a lot of fun.
Don't touch my diva, bro.
Trying to run this
Don't
raid.
touch my diva, bro.
Yo,
No,
dude,
we-
best diva in the Discord. Don't at me.
I
Oh
said, don't
my
touch
God. I'm
don't
telling
touch
you.
my
I've seen
diva,
better.
bro.
I've seen better.
And then we never may know who's the better tracer, Aaron. I don't know. Ever.
I'll go
Listen,
there.
we know the answer, but we
Bro,
don't.
Aaron-
Aaron got to plat in like playing Tracer.
Oh, you remember that meme when
You
he
didn't
used to
even
say,
know
"I
he
can't
did
hear
it."
niggas below."
Oh, yeah,
my
I
feet."
can't hear
niggas.
Man, just a lot of toxicity, a lot of dumb arguments, a lot of good times. Shout out Overwatch, man.
Shout out the scrims, yo. Shout out the
Wherever
fucking-
all
the
the
Fucking
fucking-
the Kunami scrims.
telling
Oh
you,
my
bro.
God.
Konami scrims, bro.
Kunami was Rainbow.
Nah,
Nah,
that
they
was
did- they
Overwatch
did- they
too.
did Overwatch too.
I was
Oh.
That was
part
the
of
first one. The
Yeah,
first
no,
one was
no.
Overwatch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember when we scrimmed with Goats'
team
Them
that was
too,
pretty
yeah, them
toxic.
too.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
his
was-
people, and we
His
got shredded
individual
because
people.
they were a lot more coordinated than
Yeah,
we were.
they were sweaty.
They never stopped playing the game.
Hey!
They were massively sweaty. Had a girl. Like they just had all the freaking.
Yeah,
all,
two
all,
girls.
all them looked like the fucking dude from fucking Kim Possible. I forget his name. Sitting in this fucking
Whatever
room
you
all
talking
day.
It was yeah, good times, man.
No
All right,
offense.
number 2 on
Not
my
really.
list. This one pains me even more than Persona because I couldn't put it on the list. Witcher 3. I couldn't
Oh,
finish
wow.
the game. I
Damn.
couldn't
That's
finish the
I
game.
actually-
thought
bro.
that was going to be in your
I-
top 3.
I put like
Yourself.
80 hours.
Mm.
80
Played
hours
yourself.
into a playthrough, and I
Put his
still
heart
couldn't
and
beat
soul,
it,
his
bro.
How
blood.
the hell did you do that?
I put blood, sweat, and tears into that game, and I still couldn't get to that finish line. I don't know how. I don't know why. My nigga Geralt, he just couldn't cross that finish line with me, man. But
I don't know
Hey,
whether or
You
not
failed,
that's a-
Geralt. You failed, Geralt.
I
I
did-
don't know, bro.
felt
My
nigga, man,
girl
but-
worked. My girl
But
worked.
for sure, I will. Even though me and Nightshade had a conversation about this. We said we just like, yeah, we ain't beating this game. I will do my best. I will do everything in my power to beat this game before Cyberpunk comes out. And
You got 4 months, Bree.
January,
If you
got
February,
4
March. You got
months.
you got a little over 3 months.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's
That's
all
a
you
good
got.
game. Like
Hey,
about it.
good luck.
yeah. So, Witcher 3.
You got to do the DLC too.
Yeah, yeah.
Blood and Wine, all that shit.
It hurt my heart
Oh,
to not be
shit.
able to put on this list, but I couldn't. It just didn't sit right putting it above some of these games when I ain't even beat it. Even though I put more hours into this game than I did some of these games on the list, I just couldn't beat it, and it didn't feel right putting it in over some of these games. And number 1, Black Ops 2. It had to be on there somewhere. It's fucking Black Ops 2. One of my favorite shooters of all time. Probably everybody's in here that's played it, to be honest. It's just
Not
There,
mine.
and not much needs to be said. It's Black
It
Ops
just
2.
felt it
It,
just
it
felt
is
right.
it is actually
Yeah.
pretty impressive how much weight Black Ops 2 has within us, because we're not really big Call of Duty fans. The only
Looking
biggest
back at it, I can't even tell you how many games I rage quit out of matches I rage quit out of in that game. But still, yeah, it's in my top 5. It's crazy.
It is actually, yeah, because I've also rage quit too, even on the Wii U. Anyway, but like
Yeah.
Nightshade was like the only one that I could think of as like a big Call of Duty fan, if I recall
I'm
correctly.
just as
Rage
big of a
quitting
Call
on
of
their
Duty fan
Wii
as
U
him.
sounds funny as shit.
It's listen,
You know what I'm saying, bro?
fucking
You ain't
idiot.
throwing the
Out of
controller. You ain't even throwing the controller.
Yeah.
You throwing the console.
Me and
boy.
I should probably played like previous Call of Duties just as
I can't even
much.
replace the
But he-
controller after that.
He just spent more time playing in the semi-pro leagues, and I was just
Anyway,
playing casually 24/7.
Hey, bro, be like that.
Good times though. Shout out Black Ops
You know,
2,
my-
legendary.
My
game.
favorite Call of Duty missed the mark by like 2 or 3 years. That's it.
Oof. Alright, Nightshade. Honorable mentions, man.
All right, so whenever I made my list, being that I made it an hour and a half ago,
Shout out to you.
a lot,
I did
lot
mine
of my
3 hours ago.
a lot of my stuff got moved around, and all of like most of my 2019 picks got put on honorable mentions because I felt like when a game comes out in like you only play a game for like a year, you don't really get the time to sit with it long enough to marinate to be like, all right, yeah, I fuck with that game. So I put 2 of them on my honorable mentions, and they're in no particular order, unfortunately. But I'll just start with Apex Legends because
Okay.
it's
The
crazy. Like
Fortnite killer.
I started the decade playing shooters, playing Halo and playing Call of Duty. 2010 was the first time I played a Call of Duty, and I ended with playing a battle royale, which is something you literally couldn't have told me 10 years ago, and I would have believed it.
Facts.
Um,
Yeah.
my number 2 pick was Uncharted 4. I thought about putting God of War here, but being that I just beat it 2 days ago, I feel like I haven't sat with that long enough to know whether or not how I really feel about that game. I definitely enjoyed it, but Uncharted 4, it was similar in the way God of War played because of the cinematic experience it brought, and it was something that I haven't really seen this generation as much because I mainly played on Xbox, and Xbox doesn't really have
Games.
games.
I mean,
So-
he ain't wrong.
So
They
I,
only got a Halo.
it's only been like the last couple of years I've dusted off the PS4 and started playing their exclusives, and so far I haven't been disappointed. But Uncharted 4 was like, I don't know, it was just it was like I haven't gotten a void from a single player game like that in a long time, and just the story and everything of it, the conclusion of the entire story, even though I hadn't played the other games, the fact that I still felt that way after beating that one, it just felt like it had to be something special with it.
Yeah, you don't have to play the other God of Wars to play the PS4 one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's a reboot.
Yeah.
Like they have references to the first 3 games, but no, you
Yeah.
don't have to play them to get the enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, it's funny because after I beat God of War, I went back and like just read the synopsis for the other games, and I was like, oh, so that's what that was about. Oh, that's what that was about. And then it just kind of started piecing together for the little things that were in, that I saw that related back in the new God of War.
Yeah.
But my last pick was, and I actually took this off the list like 5 times, and at one point it was in my top 10, but I put Kingdom Hearts 3 on my honorable mentions. And at first, whenever I first beat the game, I didn't hate it, but I was like, yeah, that wasn't really good. But then I played a little bit more, and then I sat with it about it, and, like made cohesive thoughts about it. And whether it was exactly what I wanted as a sequel, it was a sequel, and it wasn't trash. Like if I had to pick between Kingdom Hearts 3 and Kingdom Hearts 2, I probably couldn't do it. Story-wise, Kingdom Hearts 2 is better, but Kingdom Hearts 3 had better combat. Like the combat was just more fun, the camera made sense, the abilities, the different attacks, the different keyblades you could use. That was all fun. The story just wasn't cohesive because it was told from like you felt like you were like third party in everybody else's story in that game, unfortunately. And the fact they took away the Final Fantasy characters in the main story kind of definitely took away from that a lot as well.
I just realized that now that I was thinking about it, you hardly saw any Final Fantasy character, if
Uh,
any. In
Yeah, the
storyline.
director Tetsuya Nomura said that he didn't want them in the main story of the game because he felt like it took away because this was a conclusion to the story as a whole, or at least as he says to this part of the story, he wanted it to just be about Sora and like the people, like the main characters of the story.
But Final Fantasy is integral to that, isn't it?
It was in
Apparently
certain
not.
points, but if you look at it from an outside view, it was a pinnacle part of 1 and 2, mainly 2, because it was like a focal point. There's a whole war and a whole world dedicated to it. But when it comes to like wrapping up the overarching story, they weren't really needed. I still think they should have been in there in the main story. That being said, the DLC comes out the 23rd of January, and it does have all the Final Fantasy characters in it.
You still want
So-
that, bro?
Well, you also need to
yeah.
take, for Kingdom Hearts class
You gonna
103
buy it for him?
Yeah, I said I would.
as a prerequisite of 101, and then you would also have to take 201 right after 103. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
because that's
Hey,
how
yo,
crazy
j-
or
Just to clarify for you, Nightshade, I've never played Kingdom Hearts 3, obviously. It's just funny to make fun of it because y'all waited how long? 13, 15 years for that game? And niggas shat on it. I don't
Yeah,
know if
but-
it was that bad.
The thing
But-
is, the way I looked at it is
Nah,
that
yeah.
a lot of sequels have come out for games that took that long, and they have turned out a lot worse. Look at Final Fantasy 15.
I
Final
don't know.
Fantasy 15's wait was almost as long.
Just as long.
Wait, what was the previous
Nah,
Final Fantasy
yo,
game before
a lot
15?
of people
There
forget
were
about
games
Duke
before
Nukem
15. What you have to yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. But what you
Yeah,
have to
Duke,
understand about
yeah.
15, Mitch, is that game, like the story, it was a different number whenever they started making them. I think it was like 9 or 10 whenever they started developing it, and it ended up being 15.
Oh.
Like it was in development in like 2000.
I'm saying, like, imagine,
Wait,
like
what?
Mitch, like, imagine if you started writing a paper and you finished halfway, you waited 15 years, and then you finished it.
And it was
It'd
shit.
be two completely different papers, and it'd be terrible.
It was
Yeah,
a
exactly.
mess. It was unoptimized. The story wasn't cohesive. It could have been so much more. But
They had,
like,
they had to redo the game like 3 times to get it right.
yeah, they had like 4 different directors of the game.
I thought that because I know there's a Final Fantasy 13 that came out in like 2013 or some shit.
2010, I think.
Fantasy 13.
I think it came out 2010. It was Final Fantasy
2009.
13. Okay, well,
Yeah.
13 came out and 13.2 came out this decade.
Yeah.
And then it was
14's
just
MMO.
15. Yeah.
And then 15.
Um,
Okay. Well, you know how I feel about Final Fantasy 15. It was my first Final Fantasy game. I don't know shit about Final Fantasy, but I fucking love Noctis as a character. I love the companions. I love the combat. But from your perspective, somebody who loves Final Fantasy, pretty bad. So
And the thing is, I don't hate the game. Like, I actually enjoyed it after I played it. It's just, I know for a fact it could have been better. The fact that it wasn't optimized, the shit hurts your eyes because it's all framey and fucking, like, you can literally see the pixels no matter what resolution you're at. Try to play that shit in 2K or 4K. Melt your PC. I don't care what graphics card you got. It was just bad. The point was, like, Kingdom Hearts 3 could have been a lot worse, and for what it was, the combat was so good that I'm able to look past the story elements, even though this is the final chapter. Had this not been the final chapter of this part of the story, and it hadn't ended how it did, this definitely probably would have been top 3 for me. But yeah, that's my honorable mention.
there you go.
All right.
Top 3 time.
That was top. Now,
Ooh.
top 3.
I'm hard.
And these are one at a time.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So starting at number 3, Blitz. What's your number 3, man?
Oh boy, we're gonna start off with a bang. My number
Not
3.
a bang.
Number 3 of the top 10 games of my decade. Soul Calibur 6.
Hey.
There it is.
Damn.
There it
Number
is.
3. Because this has some emotional. This game is really emotional to me because
Met your wife?
that, and then also so I first started playing Soul Calibur 2 back when I was a kid. Played it for a long time. Played shit out of that. Played shit out of 3. I played shit out of 4. 5 is considered the worst of the series. I didn't like. I didn't. It's not. It wasn't that bad of a game, but just some mechanics changes that they made, or gameplay changes, people really didn't jive with, and then ultimately kind of killed off support for the game. But after that, so Soul Calibur has always been notorious in Bandai Namco as kind of being like the redheaded stepchild of their fighting game franchises. Like Tekken gets all the most for the most part, and Soul Cal is just kind of there. So after Soul Cal 5 kind of flopped, the series was considered all but dead. I think 5 came out in 2012, and yeah, so it was considered all but dead. There were some teases like 2016 or 2017 about a new entry for that franchise coming in, and it turned out to be like some gotcha like slot machine fucking mobile game shit. And I was like, bruh, like this series really is dead. So imagine my reaction. We were watching the Game Awards 2 years ago when they revealed 2017 when they revealed it. I fucking lost my shit, yo, because like I said, this like it was this series was considered all but dead. So I never thought we'd see number 6, and now that it's out, it's definitely my favorite of the
Soul Cal
series. It's definitely my favorite of the series because not only that, because I didn't think the game would ever exist, but also it also coincides with the fact that I first started to start following the competitive FGC for the first time in a while. So I was like, it's really starting to like open up meeting different people, like and stuff. Like me and Sector went to YumaCon, and I was playing casuals with people there. Just don't know anybody there. We're just going out and playing, and then we end up exchanging phone numbers, exchanging discords, and just kind of just doing casual matches and stuff. So and then just to see like the community like really rally to like not only support the game when in its first year of life, but then also give it enough support to see a season 2 when originally there wasn't even going to be any other content planned for it. Like that really shows that like if you show up and show out for a game and the devs actually give a shit about other than their bottom line, that they'll actually deliver. So I'm super happy that Soul Calibur 6 exists, and that's my number 3 on my top 10 games of the decade.
Real quick,
Your
before you go
reaction
ahead, I did have a very strong opinion about that game when it came out, as you remember. And after thinking about it for a while and going into random Soul Calibur streams and asking for their explanation why the game is considered alive, I was found to be incorrect. The game was in fact alive. It's a pretty good game.
Oh, that's
I'm curious to see I'm curious to see who you asked.
I don't remember. It was some random black dude playing as well.
Was it Boom?
That could be a lot. It might have been. I don't think I've seen Boom play as well. Unless he was dicking around that day. I don't know.
He might have been like picking around or something.
But I asked him, and he was like, "Why would a dead game receive a world tour?" And I was thinking, I was like, "Well, maybe to gain traction towards the game, whatever." And it was like, "Nah, man. Like the game has tournaments, all that shit." Because previous to our conversation, Blitz, like, after our conversation, I still wasn't convinced that the game was alive. So it took a lot of, not a lot, but it took a decent amount of explaining from like people who play the game a shit ton to convince me.
And not to mince anything, but yeah, I mean the Soul Cal community definitely is small. It's not like Smash or Street Fighter or even Tekken for that matter, because Tekken's fan base is rabid. Even though I don't quite necessarily understand why. I understand why. It's just not the type of fighter that I'm ultimately gravitated towards. But yeah, the Soul Cal community is small, but they're very passionate. So that's why I'm saying that's why it got a season 2, because there was so much community support for the game. Because originally Bandai Namco was just going to put it out and that was going to be it. But when they saw the support, they was like, all right, let's do a season 2. Let's do a world tour. I mean, yeah, it's small but very passionate. So
his name was a subpar SC, by the way. That dude was talking about.
Oh, I know him.
Yeah. So he convinced me mainly that the game was in fact alive. So yeah, I got back into it a couple weeks ago. Shout out my nigga Grow. It's a fun game. Good game.
Fuck that nigga, Grow.
Fuck you.
My God.
Whoa, brother. Whoa, brother. Whoa, brother. Whoa, brother.
and
That
see
just
me.
happened.
Fuck.
You
Don't
gotta
disrespect
relax.
my nigga.
How come you don't defend me like this?
I defend you, bro, but you don't defend me back.
That's
So what's
crazy.
the point?
Oh
That's
my
crazy.
god, bro.
Alright,
Would
bro.
you take a bullet for me? Man.
Nah,
How much
nigga,
you
I
pay
take
me?
2.
On God,
Alright.
I bet.
No.
No, not for you.
Why not? I'll take one
I'll
for you.
All right,
I'll
Blitz,
fucking-
number
I'll
2 on the
fucking
list.
I'll take a
Chef,
bullet for you, bro.
what's your number 3, man?
Chef.
Yeah, it's one of the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we doing 3 then 2 then 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
My number 3 was supposed to be Borderlands 2. I don't know why I switched that up. But just to put it in there, Red Dead Redemption is my number 3.
Mm.
Hey.
Mm,
The the first
OG?
Red Dead
First one.
Redemption,
Okay.
the original. Yeah, it was the actual, like, the first game I spent the most time exploring every single part of the town. And I don't even think I finished exploring everything in the town, regardless of how much time I put in there. But I just enjoyed it for its story, and it was actually, I think it was one of the first true single-player games I played on the 360. No, Mass Effect was, but Red Dead Redemption was
What the
like one
fuck?
of the best games to be playing on the 360 or on the
True,
consoles
true.
back then.
I feel that.
But yeah, it was the game I spent the most time exploring, majority of everything, doing all the side missions, finding all the secrets, and all that good stuff.
It's a solid number 2. Solid number 2.
Very
It's
good.
a 3. I'm fucking tripping.
Damn.
3 or 4, it's whatever.
Gemini Wolf. Give us your 3.
This is kind of no surprise, and I hope you guys also have this on your list. Doom.
2016.
It is
Doom.
not on,
2016, yes.
it is not, but it's a good choice.
I
Yeah,
never
it didn't make
Yeah,
my
you
list, but it was definitely a game.
Solid choice. Solid choice.
Definitely Doom. Still play this to this day. It's so much fun with the gunplay, similar to
Multiplayer's cool.
I like gunplay.
multiplayer was. I don't like it.
I
'cause it
like the
doesn't-
multiplayer for it. It reminded me of Quake. Maybe because I
It's
like
not-
Quake.
It's probably because like I play RLG with. I play with RLG and he's
There's
not
your problem.
very fun. Yeah, I know, right? That's my biggest problem.
Hey yo.
But yeah, Doom. Doom was actually really, really fun. Fucking love the campaign to this day. Can't wait for Doom Eternal. And
That shit got delayed. I'm sorry, bro.
I mean, it is what it
It's all
is.
good,
But
it's
I mean, as long as
Yeah,
the game is good. I mean,
as long
because
as
Lord knows Bethesda usually likes to fuck up their games. So
exactly.
Hopefully
So
they fix it.
I'm hoping that it has
76.
full creative control to make sure that Bethesda doesn't get the greedy little hands on them. And we gonna see how Eternal's gonna handle up, especially with that movement. Ooh, that movement. That movement's gonna
It
look
looks
so
fun.
fire.
It moves.
Oh yeah, it
I'm
sure
glad
moves.
more games are incorporating that movement style, because Jesus Christ, trying to dodge something you can't dodge something is
I
ridiculous.
love it, yo.
The
I
side step, the
do-
side
I
dash,
do
that
love
That
shit
shit
is
inspired me to
I
put
do love that
concrete in my
side step
shoes.
side dash.
beautiful.
I love concrete in my side shoes, but then when I jump, I feel like I'm on the moon.
You do
But
feel
that-
weightless as fucking dude.
Bars?
That shit.
Oh shit.
I know that was actually really.
Come
Anyway,
on, come on.
Yo,
Doom.
you on Trappers 4,
Doom.
bro?
Ain't no
God,
Trappers
no.
4. That was the
Bro,
last
please
one.
don't make a fourth
no,
one.
yeah,
No.
it's a trilogy.
He said, please don't.
no.
It's done. It's
I
done.
don't want to be affiliated
Don't
with
worry,
bands
don't worry.
ever.
Damn.
But you're in the
Nah,
same
Smartest
Discord
thing you
as
said
him.
all day.
nah.
Damn.
That's
I got
fucked
burnt
up.
What's your number 3,
Really got burnt
Kenpachi?
alive.
'Cause I'm done.
Damn.
All right, Kabachi, go ahead.
I have spoken.
Alright. I'm pretty sure none of y'all have played this game before.
I played it.
Nah, probably not. It's a hentai game.
It's not, but alright.
Skyrim.
Little Big Planet 2.
Yo,
I played the
You know what?
the first one because it
I
was
I played
free
Little
when
Big
PS.
Planet too.
I played the first Little Big Planet when they gave it away for free when PSN got hacked for like 6 months.
Yikes, bro.
It was like 2 weeks.
Was that 2010?
Something
It
like 2010,
was
2011, I think. I don't know.
2011.
Or the Big
It
Planet?
was
Little
2011.
Big Planet.
Oh,
That's when it
Little
came
Big
out?
Planet? Or
When did
Little
it
Big
come out?
Planet 2?
The one, yeah, 2.
January 18th, 2011.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That was one of
Um,
the games I wanted to play, but I never really touched it.
Yo, that game so good, bro. So good. The community amazing.
Isn't it like Mario Maker?
It
yeah,
is.
It's literally that, but like it's so good, bro. There's so many elements you can get creative with. Niggas literally made like whole movies in the game with the
Nah, people forget how popular that character was too.
Yeah,
shout
that's
out
Sackboy.
Yeah,
Sackboy was
Sackboy
everywhere when that
was
game was out.
everywhere, bro.
Yeah,
Sackboy.
Sackboy
That's
was
his name.
everywhere.
yeah,
Don't
that was,
Is that
that was
funny?
his name.
don't sleep on Sackboy, bro.
The
Sackboy
Sackboy
was
was
Nah,
that-
I definitely
Sackboy got
wouldn't be
them.
sleeping on
Sackboy got
Sackboy.
them
He
bungees.
was that
Boy. They got
nigga,
them
bro.
bungees, boy.
Sackboy for Smash.
You will
That
not
nigga.
catch me sleeping on Sackboy.
Hey, you can sleep on Sackboy in your own time.
Nigga's just a big piece of yarn.
That's not.
Alright, he's a
alright.
burlap
Alright.
sack. You better put
So
spray on a nigga name.
Mitch said it ain't
Alright.
no problem. It ain't no problem.
Alright, bro. But it's just the nostalgia, not just the nostalgic feeling, and just every day after school to go home, like, hey, bro, you getting on Little Big Planet? Yeah, alright, bet. Just literally how Nightshade said he would spend countless hours in the custom of Halo Reach. That's exactly how me and my friends did in Little Big Planet, and that game is just, it holds a lot. It's dear to my heart, and it's just amazing, bro. Like, I remember there was this one level, and this shit literally made me cry because I was just so happy playing the game. Like, if a game can make you cry from just being happy, bro, like the shit's one, bro. The shit's 10 out of 10. So yeah, that's my number three. Mario, what's your number three, my man?
My number 3 is Skyrim. I mean,
Solid.
I feel like I shouldn't
I
even
was
have to
wondering who was
say.
gonna have that.
I shouldn't even feel like I had to say why it's there. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone knows what
Self-explanatory.
Skyrim is at this point.
Yeah.
So
They-
Facts, you
yeah,
ain't
I
even
mean,
gotta, you ain't even gotta
yeah.
say
So
too
let's
much.
move to the next person. Number 3, Skyrim.
Alright. Michelin Man. What's your number three spot, my man?
Mitch, please.
Yo, okay, my number 3. Y'all know, if y'all know me, what y'all do, you already know how much this game has been getting boosted by me. You already know I'm about to say God of War. Ain't that many games ever gonna check that game for at least a couple.
I'm about to
Another
check you.
two.
There's not that many games that's gonna check God of War. That game, the dynamic, the father-son dynamic between Atreus and Kratos. I guess it's only rivaled by like what? Plague Tale: Innocence, Last of Us. Ain't that many games really checking that father-son or that family member dynamic, you know what I mean? That just the way Kratos
Can't just say parent
like,
child.
parent, yeah, I should have said parent child, but like just the way that Kratos treats Atreus, like trying to discipline that little nigga because he be on bullshit a lot.
I
But
wonder
at the
who
same
else be
time,
on bullshit.
A
lot.
and then just like the way he cares for that nigga while also disciplining him to be like a good person and eventually a good demigod. You know what I mean? Because Kratos knows what it means to be what bad gods could do, and he doesn't want his son to end up like that. You know? And
Well,
Yeah, well, listen.
according to some lore, it's gonna turn out.
it might
that
happen.
way.
Yeah.
It ain't looking good.
Yeah.
It ain't looking good.
It ain't looking
Yes.
too.
My son Thor just pulled up too.
Artreus.
Said, what's
Artreus.
good, boy?
Yo, Thor pulled up with a fucking hammer, yo. You better hit somebody with a head. You better play
Said,
whack-a-mole.
where my brother at, baby?
A
Hey, y'all
lot
see
of,
my car?
twists and turns in that game. You know what I mean? Just a lot of good plot points. You know what I mean? Combat. It's been said millions of times. The combat is fun. It doesn't get repetitive. Even though it doesn't really differentiate that much. You know what I mean? It is the same couple, like maybe like 12 combos per weapon, something like that. You know what I'm
You
saying?
just
Makes
described something repetitive.
Huh?
I said you just described something repetitive.
Well, if you have 12 combos across 3 weapons with
think-
abilities, like
I think what
rune
you're trying to
abilities
say
and
is
shit.
the combat isn't mindless. Like you have
Yeah,
to
it's
actually
not
pay
mindless.
attention.
Yeah.
Especially on Give Me God of War, the hardest difficulty. That shit's damn near Dark Souls level. You know what I mean? It's a good challenge. You know what I mean? Timing your parries, all that, switching weapons from the, I keep forgetting what they're called. The Hellblades.
I would never play that
Oh, the
game on
Blades of
any harder
Chaos.
difficulty than normal, just because I could barely beat those fucking Darkos on normal.
Nah, bro. I
Them
beat that
motherfuckers
shit.
was they was doing me. Even at the end
wasn't
of the
that
game, they was
hard.
doing me. No, it was
wasn't that
hard.
up until you get to the Valkyrie Queen. Valkyrie Queen on Gimme God of War is a Dark Souls level fight. That's for sure. That you can equate that to a Dark Souls game. That fight, and then you know what I mean, all that shit. Norse mythology is cool. You know what I'm saying? It's a very nice setting, especially for a game like this. You know what I mean? And overall, you know what I mean? It's a good reboot, man. It's a great reboot that you know what I'm saying? Some people may think that it should have ended in 3 because that ending was, I guess, satisfying. But
It
if you, I
was,
feel like
but now that the game is out, I can't hate on it. It's fine.
yeah, it was a great reboot. I feel like if you can bring a game back, if you can bring an old franchise back in that magnitude, you might as well do it because what Santa Monica pulled off was incredible. So shout out God of War, and yeah, shout out Santa Monica and the PS4.
Santa Monica. All right. Nice sheet. Top 3.
Oh, it's me.
Your 3.
Top 3.
No, not top
Is
3.
that what we
Just
doing?
get number 3.
Yeah,
Just
number
number
Oh, my
3.
number 3. My number 3 is Dark Souls. One.
One? Okay.
One.
Hey.
They dropped all 3 Dark Souls this decade.
Yep.
Yep.
Except for
the
Demon
only-
Souls.
Yeah,
which doesn't
Demon
count.
Souls came out before Dark Souls, but it was kind of like a beta for Dark Souls, honestly.
Yeah, the Demon Souls was like the beta for Dark Souls.
Okay.
But yeah, I picked Dark Souls 1. I remember how I got into this series because I was on 360. This generation even came out, and I remember my friends. I got on one day, and they weren't, which was like fucking mind blowing. That's all we did back then was play COD, and they were playing this fucking Dark Souls game. I remember joining their Xbox Live party and being like, "Yo, what y'all doing?" You're like, "Yo, this Dark Souls game is free with gold. Download this shit. It's super fun." I'm like, "All right, whatever." I remember downloading that game and I played for about 13 hours straight.
Wow.
And like literally after that, that's all I could do for about 3 or 4 weeks was just play that game. And ever since then, I've just been hooked on that series as a whole. That's the only reason I picked Dark Souls 1 though, is just because it's the one that got me into the series, and I still think it's a good game. I think Dark Souls 3 as a whole is probably the best version of Dark Souls, but Dark Souls 1 is just there's something about the nostalgia of it, just going back and playing it. Like it's a Souls game. The remastered version didn't really change much, but it definitely smoothed out the frame rate and the glitches and problems it had for the most part. But yeah, that's my number 3.
I feel that. Blitz, my man. What's your number 2?
Let me get off Twitter. Dude.
Bro, the shotgun. Shoot that motherfucker, cuz.
I feel that.
I don't care. We're going into a new
that.
decade. Niggas is still niggas on. Let me close this fucking page. Yo.
I feel
This is
that.
stupid, yo.
Kenpachi, I'm so disappointed.
Thank
in
God.
you.
All right, number 2.
Hey, bro.
Number 2, bro. Boy.
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 It's not that game.
Oh.
My number 2 in my top 10 games of the decade is what's playing on Kenpachi stream right now.
Hey.
Mm.
Ooh.
Let's go.
Let me
Modern
tell you.
Warfares.
No.
Not Modern Warfare. Not Modern Warfare.
That's
Oh, what?
all
So
about-
he changed it? What is it?
Yeah, dude, it's near
It's-
now.
Near.
near now.
I was
'Cause
about
think-
to. I was about to sit you down.
Oh,
the
my
Modern,
fault.
no, the Modern Warfare stream crashed for some reason.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know what
Um,
happened.
Yeah, so my number 2 is Near Automata.
True.
Once again, I don't know how I found this game, how I heard about it. I think I saw a demo on PlayStation Store for it. I was like, it was Christmas of 2016. I remember what. It was Christmas of 2016. I saw this demo. Played it. As like something just like touched me with this game when I played that demo. Yo, I was like,
Not
yo.
touched you.
No, it did. I meant what I said. It touched me.
Mm.
Yeah, stop, bro.
Like just like first of all, like so like I said, I'm a fan of like the hack and slash kind of combat, like chaining combos together, looking like a badass, all that shit. This game hits it nose and then some. And then I think the one thing that captured my attention about this game the most is the fucking soundtrack. Is unbelievable. I was not even like in that first mission when the vocals dropped, when you get to that first section where you're locked in with all the machines and you got to kill them all, and then the vocals dropped. I had to pause the game, bro. I was like, wait a minute, what did I get into? How did I even come across this? Who didn't tell me about this earlier? Like, And then the fucking character design, like, bruh. So like on its own, like the character design for like 2B is like really dope. I don't know what it is about like just like the dress and the blindfold is just I don't know, it's just dope to me. I didn't even find out about her ass until I got on the internet. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah, that's how that happens.
Yeah. So,
Woo!
so I was like, bruh. After that I was like, bruh, instant game of the year. And like and I think some of y'all remember when we were still in the in another Discord live, we were talking about it. Like leading up to the release of this game, this is all I could talk about, bruh. Like, and then because I ended up buying this game twice. I bought it on PC and I bought the collector's edition on PS4. I still got that shit too. I'm looking at it right now. It's a giant black box that's just sitting on the edge of my
Black
bookcase.
box. Black box.
Yeah, the black box edition. I bought that shit. So I bought this game twice.
Damn.
And I think I have. Let me look on Steam right now. I have a total of I got 86 hours on this game. It probably takes about half the time to kind of get to everything to get the full context. So basically, to get the full context of what's going on in the story, you have to beat the game multiple times because one time you're playing as 9S or 2B, second playthrough you're playing as 9S, this third time you're playing as A2, and then depending on what you've done in those 3 playthroughs, you can get like a fourth ending or like the true ending. There's like multiple. There's a bunch of like there's multiple endings. Most of them are joke endings outside of like the main 4, because you got each one that ends like each character's arc, and then you got the true ending. But it's just like this game literally took over my life for a good like 4 to 5 months after it came out. And like I said, just like the OST like moved me so much. Like I said, like I'm going to this concert for it in Chicago in January. I can't fucking wait for it. Like even if there's like a snowstorm because it's Chicago, it'd probably be cold as shit in there. Like I don't even care anymore. Like this concert is fucking probably gonna.
Yeah, we need to take a moment and just like appreciate Square Enix over like the last,
Fucking-
not just this decade, but like the last 20 years of having the best soundtracks of it.
Yeah, from
Between Final
to
Fantasy,
Kingdom
Nier,
Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. Oh
Whew,
my,
wait,
like,
oh my
Kingdom
bro,
god.
Hearts
oh my
soundtrack
That's
is
a fucking-
god, yo,
goated, bruh.
yo,
Kingdom Hearts
their
soundtrack
music is
goated.
so
I
crazy.
forgot they had that many bangers, yo. Oh my
It's
The
god.
fucking
Kingdom
nuts.
Hearts
You know what's
soundtrack
crazy about Final
brought your
Fantasy?
boy to tears, bruh.
The craziest thing about Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts is that from the very, I think it was like Final Fantasy 2 or maybe 3 or maybe 1, I don't remember, but like Final Fantasy 2 through like 15 or 15, and Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and then there's a few other Square Enix games in between, were all fucking composed by one person. You know?
It's ridiculous.
Like all these
Simple and
games or
clean.
all these soundtracks were literally, if you credits, they're all like composed by one person.
Simple and clean.
It's fucking movie level,
like,
yo.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy,
like,
man.
it's way too classic, yo. They've made so much good shit across themselves.
But to bring it back to Nier, what the fuck was I about to say? Oh, yeah, Kenpachi, you need to finish this game because the true ending. Because I just beat it, the true ending for the second time. I did it for the second time like last week or 2 weeks ago, and the way that they designed it, I can't really say too much without giving out spoilers, but just the way that they designed the ending, and then again to bring it back to the soundtrack, the way that everything just orchestrates, falls into place, it's so fucking powerful. Like I can't even, like I really want to talk about it, but I really can't say much without spoiling the ending. But yeah, finish the game, bro, because it's definitely worth
I definitely have my plans to finish the game, bro. Trust.
it. So, and then you gotta
I
let
just
me know
gotta
when you
get
get
around
close
to
to it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like this. Yeah, I don't really can't really say too much more without spoiling. Just like the gameplay, the story, and the elements that it kind of deals with, the character design, and then finally the music. Again, just to reiterate, yeah, this is the only reason this isn't number one is because what is my number one? I just literally put so much time into it. I feel like I have no choice. But to
Oh,
put
I
that
already
game
know
in
what
there.
that is.
So, but yeah, this Nier Automata is not my number 2. It actually, I mean, for the integrity of the list, it's number 2, but in my mind, it's 1B.
Yeah, I feel it. Chef. Chef.
Yes.
What the fuck
What
was
the
Who
Wow.
that?
the fuck just left?
Some-
Who was
who
playing
just-
Modern Warfare, bro?
Whose
You
Discord
feel
exploded, yo? What the fuck?
Mario.
Oh shit.
me?
Hopefully.
You good,
My bad, my
Mario?
bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I'm chilling.
Chef, number 2, my
Alright.
man.
My number 2 is Call of Duty Black Ops. Number 1.
Mm.
Hey.
Okay.
All right.
Black Ops was my very first game that actually got me on Xbox Live. Yeah,
Ooh.
sophomore year in high school, that was the first game I tested out on Xbox Live when I got it for Christmas. And yeah, the rest is history with that shit. This is part of the reason why I don't play Call of Duty anymore. But at the same time, why I love Call of Duty to begin with.
It's a very love-hate relationship with any Call.
It really is a love hate. Really.
Not with Black Ops 2 at least.
I mean,
no, it's not.
there's
it's
some
the
things I
same,
hate
bro.
about that
It's the
game.
same.
Yeah, no,
It's-
not with me anymore though. Now it's just straight hate. Now it's I hate
Damn.
every Call of Duty.
Peacekeeper.
Nah, I
was
enjoy
the
My
first
my
one.
host for Call of Duty
Or
died
was
with
it
Modern
a
Warfare
Peacekeeper
3.
or Peacemaker? The fucking
Peacekeeper.
DLC weapon.
Peacekeeper.
Yeah, Peacekeeper. When
Yeah.
that shit came out first.
I remember that shit.
Yeah.
No, but I enjoy Black Ops the most out of all of them, especially the zombies maps, Kino, Dirt Toten, and Ascension.
Oh,
were-
Ascension.
Ascension was
fucking goated,
fire.
Yeah, that was
Fucking
those are the only 2
What was
maps
one
that I
in
actually had a
between
game plan that I could solo myself and get to high level. Was like 50 up.
Yeah.
Anything else, I was like, I need a crew for this one.
You were saying Luke?
Oh, but fuck 5 though. I hate 5. I used to
What is
hate
that?
when my
Oh, the Pentagon.
yeah the Pentagon map. I hated that map.
Five.
That was
No, I actually liked 5 a lot. That's actually one of the
I
easier
hated
ones to
that
solo.
I would see. I think I don't know if I'd never been diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure I'm claustrophobic. That map made me claustrophobic.
Oh yeah, no, that map is terrifying. I
Yeah,
ain't
that shit
gonna
was
hold you.
mad small.
What else? What was the shit called? The arcade one.
Dead
Dead Ops Arcade.
Dead Ops
Arcade.
Dead
I
Ops is
played that
alright.
so
Arcade.
much.
I got bored with it after like a few rounds.
They
so-
need
Dead
to bring
Ops,
I wanna
that
play
shit
Dead-
back.
Dead Ops Arcade was dope, but the Black Ops 3 version was fucking next level.
Oh, because that's the one you can go first person in, or at least
Yeah, like there's
Oh,
a
you
there's a
can.
power up that spawns
Oh,
that
I
puts you
remember
first
that.
person. The shit's
yeah,
sick,
yeah,
yo.
yeah.
That shit is sick.
Yeah, Dead Ops Arcade was actually one of the things I played the most, and then plus minus the multiplayer, the campaign for Black Ops was absolutely A1
Yeah,
for any Call of Duty game, really.
yeah.
Yep.
It's one of the best. So
That's
That's
actually
the
my
only
favorite.
only one that could even come close to this Black Ops 2. But yeah, Black Ops 1's got it.
and plus
I
Ice
forgot
Cube
to
was in it,
mention
so you know what I'm saying?
Enemy spy plane incoming.
West Side.
Alright.
But yeah, that's my number 2. Shout out to Black Ops. That was the first time I was called a retard. You know what I'm saying? Online.
It wouldn't be the last though, would it?
And no, it would not. I tripped over a grenade. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Grenade.
No, actually, I
Grenade.
didn't trip over it. I stopped in front of it, and the teammate was behind me, so I kind of blocked him. So we died together. And he was like, "Are you fucking retarded?" I'm
Bro,
like,
that used to be the funniest shit when you get
Yeah,
stuck
I
with some. Bro, getting stuck with some text and then
Man's-
run into a
man's was
teammate. That used to be so fun.
Or getting shot with the crossbow with the explosive tips there. With the
Oh,
explosive
yeah. Oh yeah, the
shit,
gun
yo.
game. Fucking gun
Yo,
game.
oh,
Custom
Sticks and
game.
stones, yo.
Sticks and stones.
One in the
Six and
chamber.
Stone was one of my favorite fucking game modes. That
Yeah,
shit
see
was
the
funny.
custom games they had for Black Ops was fucking A1 too. See, that's why I
And then
love
you
Black
had
Ops
like
the
the
most.
the cool thing was it was wager matches. That's what game mode. You had
Oh,
that
yeah.
currency, the COD points or whatever it was, and it's
Mhm.
like you had to actually bet your currency in order to play those game modes. That shit was sick. Yo.
Yeah, that's why I fuck
Then,
with
My
Black
but
Ops.
then
personal
Activision
custom
found out
game
about
was
monetization. Then
Yeah, unfortunately.
Charging 15 per map pack. See, that was the first time I was a youngin to the Xbox Live shit. 15 per map pack was actually pretty tolerable until I realized, they not really giving a shit.
You know what's
Yeah.
crazy about that is like I used to whenever I played Halo, like Halo 3, map packs was like $10 a piece. I was like, yo, how am I gonna shit? I started playing COD. I'm like, what the? These niggas gonna make me go
15.
bankrupt.
Wasn't it like 40 for the entire season pass? 50?
I think
They
it
didn't
was like
start-
40.
They didn't
It
have
was
season
40 or
passes.
50.
It was
Yeah.
50. You save
50,
$10
okay.
if you did the.
I think they did that with the third. I think they did with the third DLC pack.
Yeah,
Because yeah, they used to just sell individual DLC packs with 15 a pop.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
That's how I
all
bought
the
all of them. I can
maps
afford
they
the other
gave
ones.
you plus zombies content that made it worth the 15 to me.
No,
Like
sometimes,
zombies?
sometimes.
Because I
It
feel
depended.
like zombies maps was like easily another like 10-15 hours you could dump into the game if you wanted. Like
I mean, we used to
Zombie-
have those
10,
arguments.
10,
where
15.
zombie-
10-15. Only 10
Mitch, I spent 18 hours in one game one time.
high key, bro.
18
Yeah,
hours.
I'll probably put like 60 hours into Origins.
You ever stayed up for 18 hours straight playing zombies?
I
No.
can't do it.
The
when
most
I
I've done is I think I stayed up 10 hours.
I think my
straight.
PR. I think my PR, solo PR for a zombies map. I think I got to like level 42 for Kino der Toten, and I was
I think my highest
Alright.
was
I was
100.
like, damn zombies, ain't y'all tired yet? Like,
It was 173 on Shino Numa,
God.
and my game
Bruh.
crashed.
I had to.
Ooh,
Y'all remember them days where y'all had to like
Oh.
put y'all Xbox in sleep mode so you wouldn't around
nah,
or whatever?
nah.
I ain't never did this shit
Don't
y'all
do that
talking
shit.
about.
Uh,
I
No,
ain't never
no,
did some shit like that.
No, I
Nigga, if
played. No, I
I'm
played.
going
I
to sleep. What the
I
Oh wait,
played.
no,
I
I just
I'm
turned off
saying, bro.
or the
I
TV.
played. I got as far as I could get, and then I had to pause it. I had to go to class, and then when I come back, just unpause it, go right back in.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I'd either
I
close
was
my
playing with big
TV and
ballers.
leave it on the pause screen and then come back the next morning. I'd stop playing at night, leave my TV and my Xbox, or close my TV, leave my Xbox on, and then come back from school like at like 3 p.m. the next day, then get to playing. And I
See,
did
that's how
that
you
for
get
like
the
3
rendering
days
of death.
straight.
And they wonder why so
No,
many
I'd actually
Xboxes
never
blew up and
rendering
shit.
my
This
That's
is
what I'm
why.
saying, bro. My roommate in college, he used to leave his Xbox on literally for days. He would
Oh,
leave it on
shit.
fucking
Yeah, no, I would too.
and he
I left
wondered
my
why
shit on
his
for
shit
like
kept
4
breaking.
days.
Yeah, he wondered why his shit kept getting
Yeah,
wrecked.
no, at the end of my Xbox 360 cycle, I was hitting it with a hammer exposed. Like, no joke. I remember my mom coming in my room. I was like banging on my shit at like 12:30 in the morning, and she's like, "What you doing?" I literally didn't even say anything. I just kept fucking hitting it.
I'm trying to. Mom, shut up, mom! I'm doing an operation.
I'm doing operation.
I'm trying to save my baby.
All right.
Alright.
Yep,
Gemini
that's number 2.
Wolf. What's your number 2, my man?
So mine's is completely polarizing from everyone else, specifically with
Polarize me.
this one game, because it's Spec Ops: The Line.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Spec
I
Ops:
never
The
finished
Line.
that game.
That actually
So-
was a really
Never
good
played
game.
It was a phenomenal telling of Heart of Darkness and Apocalypse Now. Like it was literally it's a modern take of those type of that type of material, because literally I came in fresh out of my mind, expecting something deep, like expecting something great. Like I'm supposed to be like mind blown on this, but I didn't know what was happening. So I was coming in all fresh, all nice. The level of insanity I went through to finish that game, and spoilers, I ended myself in my first playthrough. I was floored. I was
I'm
completely floored. I was like, I had to step back out of my chair, lean on it, take a breath, and I was like, whew, that just fucking happened.
Doesn't that game have one of the like most fucked up endings in a game ever?
It
Yeah.
has. It doesn't have the most fucked up ending. It has the whole fucked up like situations.
Kind of why when people talk about that game, you're not supposed to talk about anything story wise, because
It's-
if you know anything that's story wise, it just ruins the entire game.
It literally ruins the entire thing. It's a very thin veil. But if you're able to not spoil yourself and go around this very delicate veil and play it by yourself with no like talking about it, just straight up like, I like this game, I want to play this game, blah blah blah, you would be floored by the level of like darkness inside that heart. Literally the level of Heart of Darkness.
Is that game
Because-
single player only?
It is indeed single player only. There's
I'll
technically a
try it.
multiplayer, but that it's like it's so slapped on, it's not even funny.
What year did that game
Okay.
come out?
That came out 2012.
You know so it's been this long and I still haven't gotten a single spoiler for this game.
Yo, same.
Yeah, I
same.
haven't.
I
Either.
haven't
I've had
played
the
it,
game
I've never
since
touched it,
since I
I've
built my
never got
PC.
I've never
The
followed it.
story is really good.
I've always seen the
story-
game around. I just never looked in.
And
I've
only
had it
played
since
so
I
can
built my
play it.
PC like 3 or 4 years
incredible
ago.
how forgettable it can be, because technically speaking, it's difficult to market something that's gonna make you feel terrible.
I don't think
Because-
it's forgettable, but I think it's just what I said. I think
No, no,
everyone
no.
realized that if you know the narrative, it's just going to ruin the entire game.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll probably end up-
It
That's why no
actually-
one talks about it.
It's difficult to explain about it, because like if you go into a deep vibe on it, you're spoiling everything, and it's completely ruined. Like literally, I believe someone from Konami or here or something on that matter was talking about this game, and I was taking it like it was super great and everything like that, but he was talking mad shit about it, like an idiot. And I was like, no, what are you doing? Why aren't you playing this game? And he's like, oh, everybody spoiled the game for me. It doesn't even go into like that. I'm like, what the fuck?
That sounds like a lot of people from Konami, so you can't even guess it.
But it's it's kind of it's kind of a blessing in disguise that a lot of people don't really like this game, because if they talked about it, it would spoil a lot of shit. Like there would be more people who would be like, "Oh yeah, the game was kind of cool." I'm not gonna know about it. Oh well, because you really need to go in there so blind so you could find out how deep the rabbit hole goes. And the performance by the guy Nathan Drake, I forgot what the hell's his name is.
Nolan North.
Nolan North.
Yeah.
Nolan North's performance in this game is fucking nominal. This is gonna be a slight spoiler, but I you'll notice this once you play through.
Please don't.
Just don't.
'Cause
Let's
I
just
see
say
about to play, I'm gonna
let's
touch
just
this.
say the voice acting is really good.
All right.
I'll give you that.
Monopoly on the fucking voice acting in the video game world.
This was 2012. He wasn't exactly like completely well known. I think.
I mean, he's been around for a while.
No,
Yeah,
Nolan has been around forever.
Yeah. Shout out
Yes.
to
Nolan
Halo
has been well known
3.
for a long time.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright.
So, yeah.
Thanks, Wolf.
My number 2.
Oh god.
Alright. It's Black Ops 2, nigga.
Let's go. I'm so happy.
Cool.
I'm so
Alright,
happy
cool.
how many fucking people have this game. It's incredible. Like it's
Fucking
really
Black
incredible
Ops
how.
2.
It has
Black
to be
Ops
somewhere.
series. That's because the BlackPs series is the best of the fucking franchises.
Fucking goated.
Yeah, make a
Facts.
dick
It
hard.
absolutely is.
My dick hard right now talking about it. Shit.
Hey,
Oh,
goddamn.
damn, bro, what the
Hey,
fuck?
I'm drinking, nigga. What's up?
Man, I didn't even talk about that in my own fucking.
Damn.
I don't know
You know
who
what
this
I'm
man
saying?
is.
Goddamn.
I don't know who
Yo,
this man is.
I gotta look up some 2B quote unquote.
I'm
fan
drinking
art to
a
counteract
beer.
all that.
Hey, yo. I got alcohol in my system.
I think. Yeah. Sorry. Excuse me. I have over. I did the math a couple of days ago. Before I was sick. Over all of my accounts, because I've had I think 3 PSN accounts in total.
What the fuck did you do?
It happens.
Yeah,
It happens.
shit gets
Just
lost. it
importing
happens.
hentai.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, nigga. But I have over. I think. What was it? Oh, where I wrote it down somewhere. 3,259 hours on Black Ops 2.
I played that game for what, 2 years
I
straight? I don't even think I had them.
prestiged 5 or 6 times.
You didn't get to Prestige Master?
No, that's what I mean. Like, Master
Oh.
Prestige. 5 or 6 times. Did all that. Wasn't going on a pro. Fuck all that shit. But yeah. That's, I don't know, man. That shit. It's pretty much like Little Big Planet in the sense that like it has a special place in my heart. Just cause it games bring niggas together, bruh. So that's mainly what it is about. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Black Ops 2. I don't gotta say much about it.
Alright. My number 2. GTA 5.
Hey.
I don't need to say why. You
Nice.
already know. GTA.
Turn up for the ratchetness.
Turn up.
I paid for that game 3 separate times, bruh. Never again.
I paid for it twice, and I still haven't
Twice.
gotten to work on PC yet. Like for some reason, it just won't launch on my
Oh,
Steam.
yo, mine on PC. Oh, shit. That shit was so smooth. Oh, I missed that game. I need to re-download that.
Uh,
Do you even have your
Yeah.
PC still?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I gotta rebuild mine in February. I'm
Ah,
gonna order
okay.
a bunch of parts. I gotta rebuild everything but the graphics card.
That's what's up.
did you take it
Yeah,
apart?
what happened?
No, it's just updating shit. Because I have an i5 and all this new Intel sockets and all that shit came
Yeah,
out.
I
I
feel
gotta
you.
update all that.
Got you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my number 2.
Cool.
Bitch.
Uh,
I'll go in on my number
he
1
said he gonna
probably.
be
My
balling
number
on the
one's fire.
taxes, boy.
I feel you. I'm going on mine too.
Mitch, number 2.
All right. Number 2. This game. There's only one game that holds weight on me more than this one. That's obviously my number 1. But number 2. And yeah, some of y'all might hate me for this one because of previous conversation we had. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This game,
That's all right.
Yeah, it's good.
being in this world being in the world or in the land of Hyrule, the feeling that I get, it's so many emotions because it's a post-apocalyptic world, but not really, because there are people like living and building villages that feel home. Like you feel at home in this world, but also you feel kind of empty because of the shit that has happened years ago before Link's awakening. It's
Yeah.
I've never seen yeah, I've never seen a world be so empty and full of shit to do at the same time. Like y'all probably heard about this game where like you can do whatever the fuck you want. That's not exaggerated. Once you leave the Great Plateau, you do what you want, whenever you want, however you want it. There is
All I
no
did was die.
limitations. You can literally just sit there and die in that game if you want. You can fucking end the
Yeah,
game.
I didn't want.
you can you can literally beat the game as soon as you finish the tutorial, or you can take your time, get all these these legendary weapons that you've probably seen, get these gadgets, beat these shrines, build Link as a warrior, as a hero, build him up, finish these learn about these characters that died trying to save Hyrule, learn about like their I don't want to say their motivations, but who they are as people. You have people that are cocky. You have these people that are just they give you a sense of like brotherhood and like just a good feeling across all these characters, and the relationship that Link had with some of these characters is just great. And the whole thing about Link being a silent protagonist, all that, like it doesn't feel like that in the game. It feels like Link is really somebody who like isn't just, oh yeah, I'm gonna come back, beat this nigga, then be out again. Like it feels like Link is a part of this world, like on a greater scale, because of the way these characters that he was with pre-war, like the way they treat him and shit. It doesn't have that same feel as a game like Ocarina, where Ocarina of Time, like these whenever you're in the what's the village with the kids called?
Kokiri
Something
Forest.
Kokiri Forest. Even though they know who Link is, it doesn't feel like that same relationship as you would see with Gale and Link. Like Gale fucking, I don't remember that was his name. Hold on.
I ain't trying to talk to them niggas. No way. I'm trying to just talk to one. That's it.
Rivali fucking hates Link, but the nigga has so much respect for him because Link is just that nigga. You know what I mean? And obviously, y'all know about the combat. It's fun. It's normal Zelda combat. It ain't that challenging. It ain't that easy either. It's satisfying. It's fun to play, and man, it's just great. And that ending, how satisfying that is. And now that we're getting a sequel for a game of that magnitude, it's great. I really feel like Breath of the Wild, it's probably one of the it is one of the main reasons why Nintendo is one of the greatest of all time.
Go down that road again.
It's just that game alone is one of the, like, it just solidifies them niggas, but it's also a reason why Nintendo really came back this gen.
They're kind of already solidified
It's
for like the last 40 years.
It's closing soon.
I mean, not to rehash what we talked about like podcasts ago. I mean, that's all well and good. However, I'm still of the belief Nintendo, like Breath of the Wild, couldn't have been that in depth, and niggas probably still would have bought it and ate it up. Not to say that it's a bad game, because it's not a bad game by any means. I'm just saying, even if it wasn't as in depth as what you just described, it still probably would have been heralded as such.
Yeah,
But
I
no,
don't know.
That's more
Yeah.
than fair.
Yeah, that's theoretical shit, honestly. But like I said, this game, the way it is made, the way it is, great game, man. One of the greatest of
Did you buy it for the Switch or the Wii U?
Switch, of course. Yeah, the Switch. It was
Okay.
the first. I bought a Switch for that game because.
Oh yeah, because that's the only thing you could play at the time.
Yeah.
I
so,
forgot about it.
Yeah. Shout out Nintendo. Shout out Link. Shout out Zelda. Shout out, brother. Thank you for a great experience of a video game. Yeah, that's it.
Right. I don't know. I mean, to me, Ocarina of Time is untouched. That's actually my favorite game of all time. So
Yeah.
nothing's ever gonna touch that. I might play Breath of the Wild one day, maybe, if I ever find the time to do so.
Um,
I'm
I'm-
having
I'm-
trouble. I'm having trouble with that game the same way I'm having trouble with several other games I haven't finished. Like I get to a point where it's like I just keep fucking dying over again.
yeah.
Just like demotivates you.
My weapons and shit break
All right.
just because I'm fighting. It's like, yo, so what do you want me to do?
You can. I did
Beat
have
me
the
to
same
a
problem. You need to separate. You need to diversify what weapons you use mid fight. Like if you feel like you're using this weapon too much, you probably are. Switch to another weapon. Whittle that down a little bit. Just like ration your weapons, because even though you may find some weapons fun than others, because that's bound to happen, there's nothing wrong with like differentiating how you fight niggas. Like
Yeah, but if I'm pulling up with the glizzy, why am I gonna pull the fucking rock band set?
I mean,
I
that's
don't
a
know,
good.
man.
That's a valid point. That's a valid question. Valid
I mean, that's just early game shit. Once you get to the late game, you'll start getting you'll start getting shit that doesn't even break
Man,
that
just
easy.
give me the Master Sword. I'm Gucci.
Yeah,
Yo,
I
Alright.
mean, listen, the Master Sword is in the game, but the way you get it, it's a grind. They don't just give you that shit just to give you that shit. You gotta grind.
man, they didn't give me
little
that
bit.
shit day one.
Nah, you don't get that. That's another reason why I love that game. The Master Sword is a staple of the franchise, and it's always been given to you automatically. This game, you gotta work for it. You gotta work, because this is about Link.
I already got a job, yo.
This is about Link becoming the hero of time, and the hero of time doesn't just start with the Master Sword, because that is a weapon that is supposed to be wielded by the hero of time. And Link, before he gets to the point where you need to get that sword, is not the hero of time. He's just some nigga that can swing around a sword at the beginning of the game. So you get strong, you build up Link as a hero, and then you can get it. You can another thing. You don't even have to get the sword.
Mitch,
My
I'm gonna
bad.
cut you. I'm gonna cut you guys.
I'm rambling,
I'm
bro.
saying,
Like,
bro,
the game
we've been
is
here for
great.
2.5 hours. We
Can
gotta
that
wrap this
shit
up.
get to his number 2?
My bad. Go ahead.
We're
Yeah,
almost
that's his
close to
number 2.
2020.
Crazy.
Long story short, Breath of the Wild is fire. I might play it one day. Who knows? But
Likewise.
the time is untouched for me. Okay. I don't know.
Next decade.
Yeah, I don't know if Kenpachi's stuck in the toilet again, but I guess I run
I just got back. I got back.
Oh, yeah,
Nice.
damn.
Nice.
Yeah, nice shade still gotta go.
Yeah.
All right.
nice shade.
My number 2. So my number 2. I wish I could say for certain that it is my number 2. It would definitely be in one of the games in this franchise, but I put Metro Last Light. For those that don't know, Metro is in my top 3 franchises of all time.
Did you play Exodus yet?
No, that's the reason why I was conflicted on it. I started Exodus whenever I was on the road and I was working past summer, but then whenever I got home, I started playing other stuff like Apex and shit. But Last Light, I've played probably upwards of like between 20 and 25 times, like all the way through, like on the hardest difficulties and just getting all the items, collectibles, and stuff like that. Like that franchise, I feel like that franchise to me is what Fallout is to like the weird Bethesda nerds.
Wow. Okay. Fuck you.
Weird Bethesda.
Wow.
Fuck you, buddy.
Well, I mean, I feel like Fallout isn't as good, and I feel like Metro really, fleshes out everything that comes with being in a post-apocalyptic world, and it's more realistic in that way. You know, between the mutants and running around in fucking these subway, you know what I mean? You know, you're underground in a bunch of dark places, fucking glowing mushrooms and shit, and things making noises. Like, there's nothing more terrifying than that game, and I love it. Yo. I feel like it's a very realistic take on the horror survival genre, and it's something that I really didn't think I'd be a fan of because I've never really been a fan of those kinds of games. But that combined with the fact that the story's just incredible, and I really wish I could say Metro Exodus is at the top, but I just haven't had time to play it this year, unfortunately. But it's definitely moving very high on the top of my list to play in the future. Yeah, that's my number 2.
Solid.
All right.
Woohoo!
Number 1.
This
Number one.
is the number 1 time for the podcast.
Number 1 game of your decade. You will be flamed if it is
You
shit.
will be grilled for this one.
I'm saying, bro, the burners.
Mine is absolutely justified. I don't care what nobody says.
Oh,
Listen,
mine is too.
same.
Mine,
Hey,
It's
mine's
already
in
on my
view.
list.
Y'all
Kenpachi,
better,
whatever it is, I probably hate it.
Alright. Y'all better stand behind y'all number 1 Like your goddamn mother.
I'm saying
alright?
number one, I'll die on the hill for. I don't care.
Hey,
Same.
I
hey,
will argue that to the death.
everyone need to have that energy. Alright?
Yeah.
So,
I'm
Blitz,
gonna keep it.
my man, it's your number one, bro.
Is there really any question? Those who know me know what my number one is.
Absolutely.
Playing that shit
It's
every
black.
day, bro. Of course.
I got the
Okay.
game on right now. It's Black Desert Online. Right?
Hey,
I'm sitting here right now. My man is AFK fishing out here, bro.
Let's get
making that
it.
money, bitches.
Dang
Fucking
shit.
nuts, yo. This
Nigga
game
got
came
the
out in
money on the mind.
this game came out in 2016. Well, actually, it's been out in
2014.
Korea a lot. It came out in Korea in 2014. It came out in
Oh, okay.
2016 in the NA and the E. I bought it when it first came out, played it, and then it was so literally I was so overwhelmed. I literally got a headache and put the game down for 6 months.
I feel that.
It was so overwhelming to me because just the amount of shit that finally came back to it and finally had the mindset of just, you know what, just pick a goal of what you want to do and just focus on that. Don't do nothing else. And 3 years later, that's all I'm doing. What keeps me coming back to this game is the combat. They've got
So good.
19 classes now, counting the Guardian that just came out in Korea. They got 19 different classes, and it's not like traditional. Like this is your paladin, this is your healer, this is your DPS and your tank or whatever.
This is your nigga that fucks shit up. That's
everyone's
and
OP. When everyone's OP, that means no one is. So
Yeah.
it's just everyone's got different fighting styles. Is how.
Unless
this game
you're a ninja.
Well, they actually just put in a new skill tree, so he's actually a lot better now. But yeah, the combat is A1. And then just kind of the whole premise behind this game is just grinding to get higher levels of gear, so you can go fight more stronger shit, and then also make more money, and that which goes right back into getting stronger gear. The combat is A1, and they keep putting in new content, keep the game fresh for the most part. The PvP is kind of unbalanced because, like I said, when everyone's OP, it's kind of eh. But it can be fun once you start to get the hang of it. Especially when you start getting to like the 1v1 kind of stuff. It literally plays like a fighting game. There's iframes, there's frame advantage, there's all that nigga bangs. Oh, I'm plus, I'm this. Yeah, there's kind of some of that in here.
There's a lot of niggas lagging too.
Yeah, that too, and desync. I mean, that's been a consistent issue. But for the most part, the combat is really good. Graphically, the game is fucking gorgeous. I don't think I've ever seen a game look for this genre for an MMO. I've never seen a more gorgeous looking game. Nothing else. What's the name? They keep adding in new content for the most part. There's always weeklies. There's always something to do. You're never gonna be bored. You can be trying to doing training arcs to be the strongest warrior ever, or you can just be a farmer. Either way, you can make money. Which is pretty much the premise of the game. Not to say that the game is perfect. There are some kind of the RNG is heavy in this fucking game, which it's kind of okay because it always gives you something to work towards, and it doesn't make everything easy. End game, there's always going to be that next bracket to get to. So the RNG kind of makes everything level for the most part. There is some pay to win stuff in here. But a lot of the stuff that I've bought is primarily cosmetic and quality of life stuff. And then, speaking of which, I'm trying not to think about how much money I've spent on this game.
How much money you spent on panties? Be honest.
Actually, not that much. It's always on the outfits because the outfits are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good.
The actual costumes are dope as shit. I think I've only bought like 2 things on. That's about it. But that has stat boosts. So, But yeah, I think this has to be my number one, but only just for the time I spent. I think last time I checked, what they talked about it, I have somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 hours on this game. So yeah, I'm probably somewhere in the middle. I probably got like 5,500 to 6,000 hours. So yeah, BDO's my number one with a bullet because this game literally is my life. This is my second job now.
I feel that.
I feel that.
But it's a fun job.
Word up.
Good game. 400 hours. I didn't even know what I did.
That's all that matters.
400 hours. You haven't even scratched the surface based on.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sad, to be honest. For me.
There's always something to do.
Yeah, that's the beauty of an MMO. Always some shit you got to do.
Yeah.
Chef.
My brother.
What is your number one of the decade, sir?
My number one game of the decade is Minecraft.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Chef,
yeah.
Chef, stop being phony. I ain't seen you play that shit once.
Controversial.
Oh,
Now, for real, what's your real number one?
Should I
Minecraft.
throw the flag? Should I throw the
That's
flag?
wild. That's
5-yard
wild,
penalty?
yo.
That's
No
crazy.
flag.
Let's throw all the flags you got, yo.
No flag and no cap. No,
Throw the Confederate flag
No
at him.
cap, chef.
no
No
cap.
cap.
Yeah,
bro.
damn,
So,
damn.
all right,
Damn.
let's hear his reasoning.
The greatest troll of the decade.
No, bro. This is not a troll. This is all real. You feel me?
Mhm.
Cool.
Minecraft Xbox Edition dropped 2012. You feel me? I
Mhm.
picked it up 2013. Played it for about 3 years straight.
I
Oh,
thought you were gonna say 3 minutes.
No, I played it for about 3 years straight. Enjoyed every single second that I had on that mug. You feel me?
Mm.
Yo, this man played Minecraft for 3 years, yo. That's
I
crazy.
can't believe you put Minecraft.
Nah, them YouTube niggas, they played that game for like 5 years straight.
Yeah, but they was probably making money.
Yeah.
Or they was 8.
I
Why'd you
mean,
stop, Chef, when your dogs died?
Yes. Actually, no. I played a little bit after that. After my my homeboy I was playing with all the time, because I only picked it up because he picked it up, and I ended up enjoying it. And I was like, oh shit, I can fuck with this. It's a space where I can be creative. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
crazy. I don't know
Stress-free.
nothing about this, man, Javon. I don't
Oh,
know a
same,
damn
bro.
thing, yo.
yeah, I've never seen him a minute. We've known this man for what, 2 years now?
2
Almost
years.
3
Oh,
years.
I've
No,
never
three-
seen
three-
him talk
3
about
years.
Minecraft.
That
Yo.
is the biggest left field I've ever heard.
I'm
High key, I was
Jesus
surprised.
Christ.
I was
Yeah,
expecting.
that's actually the first shocker of the night.
Yeah.
So,
Alright,
yeah, so it
2020
was
chef
it
and
was a space
Minecraft
to be
player.
creative. You know what I'm saying? With most games, I don't like starting from scratch because that shit is boring. But Minecraft, you know what I'm saying? It was different from Minecraft. You know,
No,
hunting.
he's talking about my man from Cautious Hero, Kenpachi. He's like,
Oh,
all that
shit.
level and shit.
That shit is boring. That shit
Goddamn
is
me.
boring.
And the same homeboy that got me on the Minecraft was the one that killed my dogs.
Damn,
Wow.
damn.
I had
The
the palace,
betrayal.
bro, the waterfall and everything. My dogs are sitting there just minding their business. He pushed them all inside the waterfall and they just
Bruh. That's
The
that's
betrayal.
war.
What
When I
the?
tell you
Yo,
I was heated,
rip
bro.
those dogs.
I burned his whole house down.
I was
Alright.
heated, bro.
That's
Yo,
no,
can I
yeah,
go next for number one?
Wild.
Cause I gotta go
That's a
soon.
revenge arc.
All right,
Go ahead,
yeah.
go ahead, Mario.
I'll concur. I'll
You wanna
concur.
you wanna go ahead and let Mario go?
Yeah,
Go
go
for
ahead,
it.
Mario. Go
Just
ahead.
to-
Yeah, go
All
ahead.
right, all right. So my number one game of the decade might be a little obvious. I don't know. The Witcher 3.
True.
I did beat that
Man.
game
yeah.
3 times.
Oh,
Nice.
That's a
shit.
big flex. So yeah, everything
So 3
about that
times?
game is amazing. I remember when I first started playing it. It was actually that was the first game I built a PC for 2 years before the game even came out. They announced it like a year or two before, and that's when I started building my PC. I said I needed to run this, and then that shit came out. That shit was looking gorgeous. Although they had NVIDIA Hairworks, and if you know anything about NVIDIA Hairworks, you gotta turn that shit off all the time. That shit is
Yeah.
terrible. Tanks your FPS.
What does Hairworks do?
It makes
Hair.
your hair
It makes
flow.
your shit lag.
Makes your hair flow.
Makes shit
Hair-
like
Hair
It makes it so
performance
like
that much?
Yeah.
instead
it's
of
rough,
hair
though.
being one texture, they're all individual strands of a texture,
Yeah.
which makes
Oh,
your
no.
GPU just go fucking nuclear.
yeah.
So yeah, that's
I can't
my
do it, coach.
that's my number one game. It's been nice talking with y'all. I'll see
Alright,
y'all
Mario.
later. Peace out,
Take care. I'll
everybody.
see you in the
Word
decade.
up.
Y'all have a good decade. Oh,
Hey,
all
what
right.
happened?
Happy New Year,
dog.
bro.
Damn, I'll see you in
Happy
10
New
years, I guess.
Damn, can you imagine having to process every single strand of Geralt hair? Jesus Christ.
That shit sounds annoying. And then, bro, when Yennefer shows up on screen, bro,
Oh no!
Turn-
PC,
turn the
Hey,
screen
hey,
off.
PC blows up.
It goes
Put
from
him on the bus,
16
coach.
to like 15. It goes from
Goddamn.
60 frames to 13.
My fucking PC ain't melting down because of Bush, yo.
that's tough.
All right, go ahead, Kenpachi.
No, you can go.
I wasn't finished.
No. Oh,
Damn.
so-
Oh, what? You
shit.
weren't?
Oh, my bad.
Crazy.
shit.
That's crazy.
my
This man got
God.
more to say about
I just
Minecraft.
let Mario go because I knew he was trying to get out of here early. He was giving those hints all throughout the podcast.
It was true.
How you do-
Okay.
I'm done now.
You fucking mother!
No, I was just
Oh,
gonna
this
say
nigga's
one
a
more
liar.
thing. I was just gonna say one more thing. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Minecraft is my number one. I'm being for real, for real.
Mhm.
This is the game I probably spent the most time on after
Alright.
no, before Black Ops.
Well, you
Black
got
Ops is
a
my
whole
second
another
most.
decade to convince me, Chef. So
Now,
You wildin', bro. I'm
Oh wait,
telling
this
you,
is
fam.
now seriously,
it's Wolf's turn now.
no,
I'm
no, no.
telling you, Minecraft is my game of the decade.
Then why don't
That's
you
fair.
have Minecraft on PC?
Huh? Because I'm burnt out.
He's Minecraft out, yo.
well, burn
3
back on.
years.
That,
3
That's,
years
come
that's
straight.
on,
what
bruh.
happens. That's what
Turn
happens
it
if I
up.
play a game nonstop for as many years as I did. I
Definitely.
burnt
I
out.
think what happened to Chef what happened to
I-
Chef happened. The same thing happened to me because that's the
Yeah,
reason why I
it
can't
also
play it.
happened
I
to
just played
me.
it too much.
I can't
It's
play
just-
Black Ops 2 anymore because I played it for 2 years straight.
Well, that
So-
that's
I
that's
can,
no
I
problem.
can,
I
I
don't
can
know.
truthfully say that Minecraft is my game of the decade. Even though I don't even talk about it or I don't play it anymore, I can truthfully say it is my game of the
I
decade.
can,
Yeah.
I definitely understand that.
I mean,
Because you know
there
what?
was
No,
a
because I'm actually in a similar I'm in a similar boat with Chef on my number one, and my number one is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Mm.
True.
So I was fucking. This is actually the game that I built my PC for. Because like you know how pretty much everyone was talking about how their whole list. This one was mine. I did my best in order to have enough money and to build it because I was migrating from to a Macintosh. I was about to say Minecraft. A Macintosh to a PC. So when I sold my Mac in order to get the PC parts, I wanted to make sure I at least hit the minimum or the minimum CPU specs for Grand Theft Auto. And boy, when I fucking played it, it was absolutely incredible. It's actually to the point where if I've discovered the role playing shit for Grand Theft Auto, I low key would still like
Keep playing.
no, not only keep playing, but like really delay my inevitability of being a friend. I'm dead ass.
Sorry, bro.
Wait. Oh, you said okay.
Okay.
I thought you said friend at first. I'm like, what the fuck? No, I heard what you said. I heard you said. They just came out with that last year, late last year, or early this year. Role
I
play?
don't think hasn't it always been there. It just didn't take
No.
off until last year.
No,
Oh.
it took off. It took off in 2017, 2018.
Oh shit.
And it's still obviously there because there's a bunch of people who really do enjoy that thing. But this is my most played Steam game of all time. The most game I've ever spent on the most money I've ever spent on a game because unfortunately I did buy a lot of shark cards. And one of the most fun games I've ever played. There's literally so many different games within that one game that like you have a racing game, you have a shooting game, you literally have a gambling game because they have gambling now. They have a casino. You have heist. You have the single players. You have you have the role playing. You have police ops. You can actually make a whole movie out of it. I even made a little movie for it. It was actually absolutely incredible, and that's actually one of the best games of the decade to me.
Hey, that's all.
But unfortunately, I can't play it anymore.
I feel that. You got
It's
burnt
too
out.
toxic. It's just it's too toxic for me. It's like I
Oh,
had
it's
to
too
spend so
toxic?
much. It's just I had to spend so much money on it too. That's why I burned out.
What
Yeah.
you spending money on? Shark cards?
No, just to make ends meet.
For
It's
GTA
in
5?
the game.
Yeah, like in the game, it's difficult for you to make a lot of money in order to do what you want to do.
So
It's
you
like
spend
real
money
life.
on shark cards.
So you would have to spend money on shark cards, yes, which I
You
don't
know,
want to do.
Chef, just skip a few meals.
Hell no, I'd never drop money on some shark cards. Fuck that, I was robbing everybody.
Bro, I spent about like 40 on shark cards.
This Chef was a
I'm
bandit.
robbing everybody, bruh.
Fucking hell.
That's crazy.
I was out there. I was ruthless on GTA Online, bruh. Ain't no capping on that.
Alright,
Blowing
y'all
up
probably
everybody's
know
car.
my
I'll pay the
number one
price.
of the decade.
Wait. Let me guess real quick. Hold on.
I'm gonna go ahead and say.
All right, go ahead.
Actually, I can't. Never mind.
You know me, the crackhead in the Discord, Rainbow Six Siege.
Okay.
The fuck, nigga, you
Yeah.
just start your lawnmower?
Shout out to
That's-
Rainbow Six
that
Siege.
does
Shout out
sound
to
about
Rainbow
right.
Six.
Yeah, your boy
That
got
makes sense.
1,000 hours in the game. You feel me? Your
Yeah,
boy-
that's unfortunate. Yo, you need to do something about that.
Your boy played on the team before, wasn't too long. But yeah, did a couple scrims, did a lot of scrims actually. And yeah, like the game's just I don't know, from when it first came out, saw it, that shit was definitely ugly as fuck.
It was
Um,
dog shit when it
Damn,
was.
it's crazy. They ain't changed much, huh?
yeah.
Yo,
No,
relax.
chill, bro.
No, objectively, the game
Nice.
did get objectively better since
Yeah,
release.
Yeah, it got a lot better.
It still
since
look
release.
objectively trash to me.
you gotta work on the game. Got to work on teammate communications.
Yeah.
I just think you playing with the wrong people.
I was.
Yeah,
I was.
I'm
I was
definitely
playing with
playing.
the wrong one.
He
Yeah.
said
Don't
the
play with
wrong one.
Vince.
He's funny. Yo.
Just don't play with Vince.
Listen,
Nobody
I was
else
about
caught
to
that
say it,
shit.
but I was
Vince
gonna
is
say
just
it in a very.
problematic to play with.
I was
Nobody
literally
else
gonna say it in
caught
a
that
very
shit,
not nice
bro.
way.
I wasn't talking about Vince. I was talking about Kenpachi. He
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about.
I know what he's talking about. Had that nigga walk through the bar and got clapped.
Kenpachi,
I think that was his
But
last
low-
day on the game too. That's funny.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. But low key, I might actually end up hopping back on that game.
You
Mhm.
lying, yo? Cause you said
not
that
lying,
with
I'm
Soul
not
Calibur.
You a lion?
Soul Calibur. I did hop back on Soul Calibur.
For when?
Yeah, for like 2 days.
Yeah, see, I still hop back on.
Alright, bro. Well, let me
made his
know
new
when you hop
Yoshimitsu.
back on, Chef.
I got you. I got you.
bro. But yes, Rainbow played it first on PlayStation. Was gold. Your boy always dreamed of getting plat. Your boy grind hard enough. Your boy got plat, and your boy retired. I might come back to the game. I'm not sure. Haven't been feeling it lately. I think the last time I played was like November or something. But yeah, it's my number one. Shit has my heart, even though I fucking hate it.
Not your heart.
Yeah, I mean it does, bro.
Dang. Be giving your heart out to the wrong things, yo.
I really do, bro. I need to chill. But yeah,
Shout out to Rainbow Six. Shout out to Ubisoft altogether.
yeah, Ubisoft, they be
Where's Beyond Good and Evil 2?
2022.
At the earliest.
Mitch,
All
what's
right.
your number one, my
All
man?
right, this y'all gonna hate me for this one, man. This shit, this shit took a lot of thought, man. This
Did you
was a
say
hard
Final
choice,
Fantasy
but
or I
my
should be
number
quiet?
one game of the decade
Fallout 76.
is Anthem. Hey, Lo, listen.
What?
Listen,
You what?
Listen, bro. It's better than Destiny. Right?
Anthem.
Just offer it.
Nah, like for real, don't
I
know.
fucking bought it.
Don't ever disrespect Destiny like that again.
I
I'll
fucking
smack
bought
you
it.
when we get to Chicago, bro.
Alright,
My
Mitch, what's
brain
it-
locked. My brain
Mitch,
locked up.
What's your number one?
All right, my number one.
What's this
of
bitch
this
ass nigga,
decade,
yo?
and my number one game period ever. Fallout New Vegas. It is.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
That
such
came
a-
out this
That's
decade?
better. That's
Yeah,
better.
2010, right on the dot.
Okay.
You see, most of the good games came out right at 2010.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It is. It's a post-apocalyptic game, as y'all know, but it don't feel post-apocalyptic, man. It basically feel like a alternate universe type shit where like shit just didn't go right with the evolution of this planet. But the way people act, man, like the way the world, the way the people in the world react to you based on your decisions, the whole world just becomes different as you, whether you a dickhead or you a nice nigga, man. Even the game itself will tell you if being like a devil or like a messiah. You know what I'm saying? The choices you make in that game, it matters. It affects the entire. It's similar to Mass Effect, but like on a smaller scale, because what you do in Mass Effect affects the entire like galaxy. With this shit, it just affects one place in the world, which I like. But obviously, the post-apocalyptic setting is nice. I love it. New Vegas as a setting, or Vegas as a setting, the whole desert thing, it's not as boring as you would think. The desert being filled with like mutated scorpions and mosquitoes and shit, that shit's fun. You know what I'm saying? Fighting these niggas, it's some of the most iconic enemies in a game. Death Claws, fucking Cazadors, all that. Just good fun, man. The endings with the different factions, great. The gunplay, even though Fallout is primarily an RPG, the gunplay is it's great. You know what I mean? They finally, it was the first game that added ADS in the Fallout franchise, and it just worked with some of these guns, man, with the assault rifles. Also, yeah, the variety in guns is great, man. It's just everything about that game, man. It's just feels good, man. I just feel at home, man. And once you get to New Vegas itself, with how vibrant the colors are, you wouldn't even know this is apocalyptic world. Like, it's literally Vegas, but post-apocalyptic. Like, lights are still on. The strip is still beautiful as ever, vibrant with life and shit. But it does have that little rust to it that you would see in a post-apocalyptic world. You know what I mean? And the dialogue is amazing. And what's his name? How can I forget a god such as Legged Lanius, man? Legged Lanius is one of the greatest characters in a video game ever. Like,
Alright,
that is-
alright,
if you
alright.
nah,
Who?
bro, yeah,
you
Legged
can chill
Lanius,
with
just
that.
I
Yo, if you don't start
legitimately
with
have
your
no idea
greatest
who the
ever
fuck
shit-
this person's
speak.
talking about.
If you speak
Who is he?
to that
I
nigga,
think
that
Sora
nigga,
has some words for
shut
you, bro.
up. That nigga Legged Lanius,
Are you yelling,
How do
yo?
you spell his
You-
name?
Legatelanius.
I
The
bet
nigga's a
I bet that nigga's a
general.
blackface.
The nigga's a general in Caesar's Legion, and let me tell you, bro,
Who?
the man
Caesar,
is
you know.
Kaiser's Legion. Caesar doesn't matter. But
I don't know his name. I don't know.
I
the
legitimately have no
man
idea
is
who
an
the fuck-
NPC, but when you speak to him, and if you have the right intelligence
Oh
and
no, bitch, he
charisma,
didn't speak to you, did he?
the way you speak to that nigga, bro, it's like you're having a
Switch my ears.
conversation, like a genuine
With the
conversation about
NPC?
war. Bro, are you gonna let me talk?
Yeah.
All right,
Are you
then.
talking?
Shut up. Listen, the way you speak to that nigga, bro, it's like you're having a conversation with like a real person, bro. The man is a genius. He's he's just that nigga, dog. And if you instead of fighting that nigga, if you talk to him, he talks about like how like the importance of winning in general is, and the nigga's just he's a great character, bro. One of my goats, bro. Yeah.
Well, I gotta take your word for it, 'cause I ain't never played the game.
Yeah. So and also modding into a game like that, even though the game by itself is great, if you put modding, like if you add mods to the game with like ENBs and like you patch up, like it ain't Fallout 3 glitchy, but it does have a little rough around the edges. Like the fact that this game has mod support with how good it is, it just escalates the game, man. So shout out to Bethesda, even though y'all been on bullshit lately. New Vegas is a great game, and I advise y'all pick it up. With it's only like $6 for the Game of the Year edition. Add you some mods, make the game look real pretty, you know, fix the rough edges, and you have a decent like you can go from like either 20 to like 100 hours in that game, depending on how captivated you are in the world. Yeah, game is great. Shout out New Vegas.
All right,
All right.
nice shit.
My turn.
Oh, nice shit, yeah.
Nice sheet.
Spotlight on you, sir.
I mean, mine ain't that crazy. I mean, it's not Anthem. Even though I was gonna make that joke, but you know, Mitch being ahead of me, that's crazy. But I'm sure y'all noticed there was something missing from my list all the way through. Considering how much time I spent playing this shit this decade, my number one is Black Ops 2. But honestly, you could just sub in any Call of Duty that isn't made by Infinity Ward this decade. But I'd say Black Ops 2 because Black Ops 2 is what really locked me into Call of Duty for like the next 5 years after that, because that game is when I started playing competitive and I got addicted to that shit. The competition, just being like me being at the level I was at the time and just being able to shit on everybody in front of me was just it was like an adrenaline rush every day. And I probably put about 4,000 hours in that game, but most of the hours I put in were like in tournaments and playing for money and being stressed all the fucking time, but having fun at the same time. Shout out to my teammates that I still talk to today. I've known them niggas for fucking 10 years, yo.
Oh shoot.
But yeah, I mean, the campaign in that game was pretty good. Wasn't as good as the first one, but it was alright. It definitely had new elements for Call of Duty. The multiplayer, of course, was phenomenal. League play, the first ranked mode they had in Call of Duty was dope. I mean, it touched on all bases. There were definitely issues later on, like my modem burning up because I kept getting DDoSed every fucking day, about 5 times a day.
I remember that.
But the zombies, it didn't have the best zombies experience. I think Black Ops 3 did as a whole, but I still put a lot of time in the zombies in that game. I think Origins was one of the best zombies maps ever. So they have that going for them. But yeah, Black Ops 2 wasn't like, looking back at it, it's definitely rose-colored glasses. Like there were definitely some rage-worthy moments whenever the game or the meta was broken for long periods of time. So I'm not naive to that. Like I've played enough Call of Duties and put enough time in that I know better than that. I just put it there just for nostalgia reasons of because it felt like even though Black Ops 1, I put similar hours into the game, but it was just like a starting point for me. Like I wasn't as good as I was in Black Ops 2 and like further into the future. So it was I don't know, it was an experience and it definitely shaped I'd say that game helped shape the next, you know, 8 years I had left in this decade on how I looked at games, how I played games, and how I still play games. So I thought it was right to put it at number one.
Shout out to the Remington, bro. That shotgun was fucking.
Oh
sick.
my!
I love that gun.
Shotgun
That,
was
they should
goated,
not
bro.
have given that gun for you off rip, yo. That
Did
shit
anyone
was
play that
busted.
game on launch?
That shit.
Nah.
Black Ops 2?
Yeah, I
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
Does
yeah.
anyone
Oh.
remember the first 2 weeks of the game when the PDW had 45 shots to a clip and killed you in
Yes.
3 bullets
Yep.
at any range and had
Yes.
no recoil? Oh
Yes.
my! Bro,
That
I
shit
thought that
was
was. I
OP.
literally
That shit
thought
was a
I made the
laser.
biggest mistake in my
Wow.
life asking my
That
mom
shit
to
was-
buy this fucking game, yo.
That shit was a laser, yo.
Oh my god, I was ready to end it all.
Yo,
Want to
that
get paid?
fucking-
Move it.
I got
that
a
fucking
question.
Remington, yo.
I got a question to ask the entire room. You feel me?
What's up,
I'm
bro?
gonna start. I'm gonna start with you, Blitz. You got Black Ops 2 on your list, right?
Yes, number.
Wolf, I don't think you did.
I did. It was
did?
number 9.
Okay. Kenpachi?
It was my number 2. I think.
Yeah, he was playing for dummy long
Yeah.
apparently.
It was on your list.
Yeah, I had like 5,000 hours on it.
It was on your list, Nightshade. Mitch, what about you?
Honorable mention.
So what I'm concluding is Black Ops 2 was probably the best game of the decade.
Yeah,
I can
most
confirm on that for
definitely.
sure.
Most
Probably.
One of the best.
Okay,
games.
okay.
Yeah, one of.
Since
One
we all
of.
have
Overall,
it listed.
probably.
What I'll say about that is it mechanically no. Like mechanically, I'd say Black Ops 3, even though it had jetpacks, was probably the
I'd
most.
agree.
It was probably the best mechanically,
Black
and
Ops-
it had like the best balance between all the guns and all the games.
It was
But
smoother
that
than
game, Black
2.
Ops 2, because of when it came out and how it was
Just fun.
presented, had the pick 10 system, all of that.
Mm.
It was just a good time for COD. It was like
It was-
peak COD.
It was just fun. That's what.
Yeah, it was just fun. Like shit wasn't too serious. People weren't bitching about every little thing. Like they were still bitching, but it wasn't like it is now, where everything's like a fucking political mess whenever a gun gets nerfed.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I rage quit. I rage quit more matches in Black Ops 2 than any other Call. Like,
I remember when
what-
fucking little fucking Timmy that wanted to join FaZe was literally threatened to kill the entire Activision staff because they nerfed the what the fuck is the name of the sniper? The bolt action sniper. They made it shoot slower, and like I remember fucking 12-year-olds were
Oh, yeah,
rising
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Is it
The ballista.
XR50?
Yeah,
No, the ballista was the one that
it
shot
wasn't
fast. The
ballista,
DSR,
it was
the DSR.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Yo, they
DSR was
nerfed the
nice. I like that gun.
DSR. They nerfed the DSR because it used to shoot like really fast, and it used to ADS really fast. And they changed it to where the rate of fire was slow and the ADS was slower. And like fucking 12-year-olds across the world were banding together to send death threats to Treyarch and Activision.
Yep.
Like
Put some niggas in daycare. You'll be good.
shit was crazy, yo.
That nigga, Van was I forgot
Vonderhaar.
Vonderhart. That nigga was fucking upset on Twitter because it was threatening that nigga's life.
It's funny that,
That was before I got
Vonderhaar's
on Twitter
name.
heavy.
Vonderhaar's name was always mentioned whenever they'd be lagging, and they always mentioned it too on fucking on the Wii U version too.
That's crazy too.
They
That
would
shit
always
did
say
not.
Vonderhaar's
That shit
name,
aged
bro.
that man, yo.
You remember the little Easter egg in Zombies where you could get the DSR's iron sights? That shit was nice.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, everything about Black Ops 2, from the zombies to the multiplayer to the campaign, it was just all solid. Solid, like 7 out of 10 plus in every single category, really.
I'll give it a 8. Because even though I had Black Ops on my list, I still fucked with Black Ops 2. I just
And
like Black Ops a lot more. But Black Ops 2,
overall,
I'll give it an 8.
it's a 9.8 out of 10 for me. Honestly.
9.8, really?
9.8,
Nigga,
yeah.
just give
But
it a
yeah,
10, bro.
yeah, you.
Yeah,
you
9.8,
wild,
bro.
yo.
I'm
You
sticking
wild.
with it.
You might as well
Why
just
you being
start-
extra?
I'm sticking with it.
All right.
Alright. Intended last
Another
nigga.
question I had: was there a game that just missed the decade that you wanted to include?
Yes, Kingdom Hearts 2, Jack and
That's not,
Dexter.
nigga. That shit came out.
Goddamn.
Relax.
Yeah.
You out your fucking mind.
Yeah.
There were a few games that
Um,
missed.
Fallout
I
3
gotta,
for me.
I gotta think about it.
I was
I
gonna
guess
put
Halo
Gears of
3.
War 2 on my list until I realized that was 2008 because Gears
Yo,
of War 2 was absolutely.
it's funny. I had Gears of War 3 on my list, and then I moved it down to honorable mention, and then it got kicked out. Like it literally went from like top 5 to top 10 to
Honorable mentions.
honorable mention to get the fuck
Gone.
out of here.
Do.
I love Gears, but it was just
Oh,
I feel like it didn't stick with me long enough.
I think I have mine. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, mine would be that just missed a decade, Bayonetta.
Ooh.
Damn.
Yeah, that's
Damn.
That did just miss in decade.
Oh,
for real.
I think I have one. Hold on, let me look and see what year it came out.
It came out 2009.
Yeah,
Bayonetta?
came out in 09.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2009.
Sheesh.
Just missed it, yo. That sucks.
There are some decent games that came out in 09. Assassin's Creed 2, Borderlands, Infamous.
Yeah.
Left 4
Okay,
Dead
so
2.
it didn't come out in 09, but I was gonna put Devil May Cry 4 on there. It came out in 08. I played through that game like
Bruh,
fucking,
Modern Warfare 2 was
least
in
2 dozen.
9.
yeah, it was.
Oh, that
I still
barely-
wouldn't
that
put it on
barely
my
was
list because I didn't play it when it came out. I didn't start playing
I
COD
didn't
until
either.
Black Ops.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I just know that's a popular.
Yeah, but it hurt my soul not to put a Devil May Cry on there. But I mean, to be fair, we had 2 this decade, and one was trash, and the other one was good, but it just came out, and I don't know how I feel about it. So,
You don't know how you feel about DMC5?
I mean, I liked it. It was a good game, but I don't know if I put it in my top 10 of the decade.
Oh yeah, well it's.
I'd have to
top
play through it
20.
again, and I didn't have time to do it in the 15 minutes I had to make the list.
If I had if y'all had gave me top 10 honorable mentions, it would have been in there for sure.
You might as well make a top 20 list at that point.
Yeah. But DMC5.
Bro, League
Would you-
came out in 09. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it gave-
being that our top 10's done, can we please scroll up and talk about this bullshit T-Palm posted?
what?
Oh, his
Yo,
list.
oh my
his
god, hold on,
list,
let
League
me
of
get back to it.
Legends.
Let me get back to it, yo. Hold on. Don't
Oh,
say
we
nothing.
had a
Don't
game
say
that came out
nothing.
in 2000.
What's this nigga? Okay, this is T-Palm's list. Okay, starting at number 1, we have League of Legends,
Which came out in
Sorry,
2009.
09. We have
09.
Fight Night Champions. We have God of War 3. We
That's
have Black
acceptable.
Ops. We
That's
have God of War. We have Wolfenstein: The New Order, which, by the way, in my opinion, is almost as bad as that last shit they just came out with. He has Ratchet and Clank.
The reboot?
The reboot.
It just says Ratchet and Clank. I don't know.
I'm
He has
assuming it's the
Infamous
reboot.
Second Son. He has Black Ops 2. He has 2 Call of Duties on his list. 2.
Hey, man,
He has Greedfall.
Greed.
Didn't that game come out like yesterday?
It
Yes.
came out like this year, like way earlier this year.
It came out like a month ago. He has Maple Story as his honorable mention. He has Dying Light as his honorable mention, and Uncharted 2. When did Uncharted 2 come out? Was that even this decade?
Uncharted 2 came out in 09, so it misses the cut.
Yeah,
Bro,
also
this man
09.
has 2009 games on his what
2 2009 games, 2 Call of Duties. Yo, a game that came out a month ago. Like nigga,
fuck.
T-Palm.
we need to
If you in the
reevaluate the.
chat,
I don't think
bro.
he's playing games.
T-Palm, your ass definitely in the chat. T-Palm, I'm gonna need you to make a
Yo,
better
that's
list,
definitely
my
in
man.
this.
That nigga typing
Yo,
right now.
Please,
You
bro.
said T-Pump
Nigga.
turned in his assignment. He said teacher handed it back to him. I need you to do this again.
Bruh,
Nigga, why
this
do you
again,
have
bro.
League on there, bro?
Yeah, if this nigga was filling out a fucking a test, yo, like there's X's and circles all over the paper.
Damn.
Okay,
T-Pump.
I ain't gonna lie. If League came out in the 2010s, it would probably be in an honorable mention at
He
least.
came out in 09 though.
Yeah,
That's
but
what-
I
that's what I
haven't
told
played.
him.
I literally haven't played League since 2010.
Oof, he said
I told
list
this nigga
stays.
it came out in
Damn.
2009, and he's like, I don't care
He
my
said
list.
list
All right.
stays, I don't care.
You sound like Stanley right now, T-Palm.
Oh
Fucking
shit.
monkey.
Oh
Yo,
my.
yo!
Oh, y'all heard me? My
We
bad.
in the stream, damn. Ah,
Imagine.
damn.
That's
But-
crazy.
Yeah,
think-
T-Pump.
Bullshit.
I can't co-sign that list. You gotta have to read.
Yeah, T-Palm, you're on your own.
Some of them are good. The
Crazy
other
nigga.
ones, yeah, they missed the cut. They don't fit the criteria. 2010 and up, bro.
I got
All right,
one
so
list.
so now the games list is over. Let me give y'all my top 100 anime of the
all
decade.
right. Yo,
I got it
yo,
written
Yeah, I
down.
still got my honorable mentions.
we
I have
don't
like
be- yeah, we-
17 of them.
That
We
got to
don't
be
be
a different
popping.
podcast, bro. That's gonna be a break. But
I don't
Chef,
think T-Palm understands how that works, yo. He keeps saying it's my personal list. Personal list of what? The century?
Bro, we said decade, and you giving us 2009 games on.
it's a pretty universal criteria that most people are following. I don't think
I
we're
mean,
like, all right, well, we're
you
just gonna
shouldn't.
pull this game from this year over here. We know it ain't in a decade, but hey,
Bro, the fact that you have League at number one, that's pretty sad. Yo.
imagine that's his
It's-
all-time favorite games.
Hi.
That is, yo, if League is your greatest game of this decade, you ain't played games, bro. I'm sorry.
Mm.
League is fun, but
Not
come
from
on,
what
dog.
I've heard.
It's fun when you're doing good, but
It's
that's
fun
with
when
every
you're
game.
having
So
fun.
Yeah.
it's not that bad. It's just some balanced shit, but
That seems to be MOBAs in general. Like when it's either feast or famine. Like when you're winning, it's great, but if you're losing, shit.
like I'm sorry, bro, T-Pong, you my nigga, but if you have League at your top at number one, you
haven't
did
played
not play
games
that many
yet,
games, bro.
You haven't played games yet,
You
bro.
just didn't play that many games, bro.
But Chef, you were talking about games that didn't make the cut. I really wish I could have put a Final Fantasy in there. Um, I 15 didn't make the cut because of reasons I said earlier. I played 13, which came out in 2009. Well, I could have squeezed it in there if I wanted to pull a T-bomb. Or I could have squeezed 13 in there. But yeah, I'm playing Final Fantasy 14 right now, like literally right now. But I haven't been playing it long enough to be like, yeah, this is on there. But hopefully, I'll still be playing it 10 years from now because the way this content stacked up, it'll probably take me that long to get through it. Um, so I hope I have an MMO out there because I wanna get some consistency out here instead of just playing fucking shooters that like I don't know. I think in 10 years I'll be too old to play shooters like I am now.
Yo, hey man, Black Desert's always you're always welcome.
Well,
Well, there's
I didn't have Black Desert on my list. And it's the reason why I'm not playing Black Desert right now. Like, instead I'm playing Final Fantasy 14 instead. I
no, that's
like
fair.
Black Desert.
I hear that game is good.
The combat is dope in Black Desert, but the end game is unappealing to me because once I've already gotten there once with one character, like I've hit 56. There's more stuff to do after that,
Yeah,
and I even started. I had a whole worker system going. Like I was making fucking millies, but it got to the point where I was like, yo, why am I doing this though?
Yeah, 56 is level 56 is an end game at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just gonna say because as far as you feeling too old to play shooters, so like yeah, there's a dude in my guild that's 60 years. Like he's retired. He's a retired
60,
army
God
vet.
damn.
No, he's a retired
Yeah.
army vet, and he's a fucking
Yeah.
and he's playing BDO, and he's really good at PvP too. It's crazy.
Yeah. I just know that your hand-eye coordination starts going like around 27. It's
Yeah.
not gone, but it's like you start losing it.
Yeah, but
I got a
Yeah,
few.
man.
I got a few years left. I still wipe the floor with you niggas.
Alright, yeah.
Well then.
Chef, you had a question though, or your last. You said you had
My last one, and it's kind of is probably an impossible / hard question to answer, but I was going to ask, with this or not the next decade, next 5 years, do you think any studio or game is going to take over?
Cyberpunk. Oh wait,
That's
studio.
the
My
same
bad.
thing.
That's the studio or
Big
game.
a game.
Studio or game. Okay, for game, just from what we've heard, in the next 5 years, easily Cyberpunk. But I don't know if God of War 2
What do you mean by
or
take
Bloodborne
over
2
though?
like
Or
take
have
over
your
the-
attention for like the first half of the decade.
Oh, okay.
Because
I
I know
from the decade-
Probably most
Cyberpunk,
games won't
especially.
have your attention for more than a
I
year.
mean, if Cyberpunk is anything like the Witcher levels of, if it meets up to those Witcher levels of hype, then probably be Project Red.
Yes, CD. Yeah. If Cyberpunk delivers on everything, CD Project Red easy. If it doesn't, if it's just an average ass game, I'm gonna give it to.
Even if it's like good, like even like
Yeah.
like Cyberpunk can be good, but if it doesn't blow everybody out of the water, then yeah, I would.
I'm gonna.
I don't know if I can really say.
Yeah, that's what I was like. It's going to be probably kind of hard to do that, but
I'd have to, because I'm thinking, what am I going to be playing for the next 5
Bandai Namco actually, because if you look at Bandai's lineup right now, they have all these fighting games, Tekken, Street Fighter, all that, and then they have
You don't have
Elden Ring.
Street Fighter. You said Street Fighter.
Street Fighter, that's not Bandai.
It's Capcom.
Capcom, my bad. They have all their fighting games, and then they have Elden Ring coming. They have all the Dark Souls games. They have all these anime games. Unfortunately, they have
Some they can be hit or miss.
yeah, like they have a decent. They have the formula and the licenses for a lot more shit, but it's like they just have to deliver. If they deliver on the next couple things, and like they keep delivering, like then they could probably take over the next 5 years. But right now, like number one candidate is CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to agree with Bandai Namco. It's just kind of hard for me to visualize because as much as I love their fighting games, I don't know. Like, they're very it's a very niche community, so they're probably going to be popular in their own bubbles. But as far as like taking over, like in terms of like they're the premier studio when you talk about gaming, or one of the premier studios when you talk about gaming, I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be
I think
nice.
I think this decade is gonna be really dramatic in a lot of ways for a lot of studios and companies because some like going into this next decade there are some companies like big companies and studios that are holding on by a fucking thread, yo. Like
Yeah.
Bethesda's walking a tightrope right now, and if they can't pull something out with Starfield or the next
If
Elder
Elder
Scrolls,
Scrolls
if
6
Oh
Elder
yeah, I
doesn't
was about to
hit,
Scrolls
say, but
fails
I was
this
gonna say,
decade, that's it. Like
Bethesda's
they
done.
they
I don't
they've
care how
tested their
many games
time.
they come out with. Yeah.
I was gonna
Same
say
same thing with
Bethesda.
BioWare. If BioWare fucks up another time, like that's
Yeah,
probably
Oh,
it
I've
for
been
them.
there with
they're
them.
gonna get shut down. Yeah,
I've been there with
Bioware.
them.
If Dragon Age 4 is ass and flops, Bioware's getting shut down. I wholeheartedly
There,
believe that.
there's
I
there's
don't.
two things that are gonna like put the nail in the coffin for BioWare.
Yeah.
If Dragon Age 4 is trash, it's probably Dragon Age 4 is gonna be coming out after this Anthem reboot, which they're doing. Like they're completely redoing Anthem from the ground up, similar to the how some companies do a lot of other games. Like for instance, Final Fantasy 14 was a fucking flop on launch, but
Right.
they redid it and now it's one of the biggest MMOs in the world. Um, but if they fell on that, and then on top of that, like failing on Dragon Age, like that's it.
Yeah, it's over.
And they have said that they're planning on doing more Mass Effect games, but like I said, if that doesn't work out, they'll probably just hand it off to
I don't.
somebody else.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna get the opportunity. And like you said, if Dragon Age 4 flops, and
Yeah.
say if Anthem doesn't pan out the way they want it to after this overhaul, I don't think they're gonna get the opportunity to redo Mass Effect.
Just
I
to
think
extend this combo real quick, what studios besides BioWare do you think would get shut down this decade if they fuck up?
I don't want to. I don't want to be negative.
Like, well, let's not be negative, but I mean, it has to be a little bit negative. But like, I just think to me,
I don't know who's hanging on a thread though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Besides like the big
Not
ones.
too
Yeah.
many companies are
if
hanging
it
on by a
wasn't
thread.
if it wasn't for people like casually liking Modern Warfare this year, I'd say Infinity Ward would be done.
Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer's already technically.
Well, they're done because the people that started the studio left.
Oh,
Literally left. That's the
um,
reason why they're not in rotation. But I feel like I feel like Call of Duty is probably gonna go free to play this decade at some point because people are
feel
just
like
gonna stop playing.
I think we're in the twilight of Call of Duty's popularity. I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I think we're on the downturn of their career. Like, if you think about it, like Call of Duty's career, like the way of the professional athlete, like Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 3, and those games, those are like
Peak
Activision,
years.
Prime.
Call of Duty in its prime.
Yeah.
In his
And then
prime.
we're kind of like Activision's kind of like Call of Duty's kind of like LeBron, like now. Like it's still good to an extent, but it's clearly in the twilight of its career.
Yeah.
The couple things actually that made me think of, in relation to the first question, with the studios that might come up. Honestly, this is a really big opportunity for Respawn to kind of make their big come up because Fallen
Oh,
Order,
yeah.
Fallen Order is
Apex.
solid. Apex, Titanfall 2, they've already gotten good rapport with
Titanfall
that.
3, baby.
Well,
Let's get
what
it.
we have
They
to
can get it.
understand,
Wait
what we have to
for that
understand
game.
about Respawn is that they're not as new as people think they are.
No, they're
Like,
not
as
new.
a studio, they're new adjacent. Like they started the first game they made was Titanfall, I believe. And then off that Titanfall 2 flop. It wasn't their fault. It was EA's because they're fucking idiots. And then from that, they came out with Apex, which was kind of like a throwaway game that ended up blowing up, which is huge for them. And it was again, I mean, it was on my top 10 honorable, or it was on my honorable mentions list. And then they came out with Jedi Fallen Order, which has gotten a lot of praise.
Yeah.
But before that, I mean, they literally made your favorite Call of Duties. Like they made Modern Warfare 2, which is heralded by a lot of Call of Duty people as the greatest Call of Duty of all time. And then, well, they made Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, so they made both of them. But Modern Warfare is the reason why Call of Duty blew up to begin with. And then they left. The developers left and went and made their own studio at Respawn.
Yeah, I was just
So
gonna say, do you think that now that they're their own studio and they can do their own thing, you think this is their opportunity? Even though they're not new to the game, but now that they're in control of their own destiny, do you think this is their opportunity to?
I
Speaking of Destiny,
disagree that
I
they have
think
full control.
yeah, I think they didn't have full control before, which is why a lot of their games didn't do as well, like Titanfall 2. Um, I
I feel like
think
that was on EA's
that
bad.
it
That was
was a
definitely
good
Straight up.
game.
that
It
was
was just it
definitely
flopped because EA's like they're literally
Their
competing against each
timing was
other.
absolutely
Because they
They're
put it
fucking
between
idiots.
Black Ops 4 and Battlefield, didn't they?
No,
Yeah.
they did it between.
Mhm.
Not Black
Oh
Ops
yeah,
4.
It was
a
whatever
Call of
Call of
Duty
Duty came
game.
out that year.
It
Yeah,
was
they
a
put it
Call of
Duty
between
Duty
game,
and then
they put it
Battlefield.
between Call of Duty and Battlefield. Battlefield's their own property. Why the fuck would you
Correct.
want to compete?
real quick, these two, they may or may not come like up in the next 2 year or this decade period, but I feel like Bungie could come back this decade.
I feel like Bungie's
with-
already come back, or not.
somewhat, yeah.
They
Coming,
not
it's
come
gonna make
back,
a
but
come up.
they brought themselves
They've
out
done
of
a come up.
the
They'll
the
do it again.
fucking grave. They
Yeah.
EA put them in.
I mean,
Well,
Activision.
Activision.
Yo,
Activision.
Activision.
The,
Yeah,
the thing
Activision.
about Bungie is that they're solo now, so there's a lot more risk going around. And as much as I love Bungie as a company, and as much as I love Destiny, even though I don't play it as much anymore, I think that if they can't evolve with Destiny 3 or whatever the next property they're working on
They
is,
got. They
Yeah.
really got to innovate.
they have to do something crazy because the
Yeah.
way the game is now, it'll definitely draw in the fans that are already there,
Oh yeah, because
and
they
some of the
showed
fans that are already there
darkness
are just gonna get
already.
fucking sick of it.
Do you think?
Yeah,
They
because
showed the darkness already, so I mean that's like the main character. So they already showed the main character, or the
Yeah, but the
main
problem is
enemy.
they've been spoon feeding us for the last 2 years on Destiny 2, and it's like we
Yeah.
really haven't gotten that much further in the story from
Yeah.
I was about
Destiny
to
1.
say, with Destiny 2, I feel Destiny 2 is at its end, right? It's the end of its life cycle
Yeah.
because we got 4
Yeah.
DLCs with 1, 4 we've already gotten 4
We
DLCs with
have
2.
we have what it's January, so we have 2 more DLCs before the potential launch of a new game, or there's no way they're gonna continue this game on for another year. I don't
I
think
was
they
just
can
gonna
do what they
say
did in Destiny
Destiny
1.
2 is done. So
Yeah, I
after
was-
Destiny 2, whatever they do next, if it's insane, they'll come back from the depths. If it's average, then I guess they gotta try again one more time this decade.
They
You
have got to revamp.
underestimate Bungie
Now,
because
do you think it needs
they
to be? I'm sorry, Wolf. Before I forget this point, do you think it needs to be a next entry in Destiny series, or
No,
does it need to be
no,
a
it
new
It can
IP?
honestly be a new
Um,
IP.
it
It
Yeah.
can be a new
does.
IP.
Yeah,
It
can.
honestly they need to do both. Like
Yeah.
I think they need to keep Destiny going because it would just feel lackluster leaving it off the way it is. Because as much as people like to say the game's dead and the story's
It's
trash,
not
there
dead.
is a story
It's
there
not
and there's
dead.
so much fucking lore. The world is so big
Yeah.
and it's almost gotten to like Destiny 2 has almost gotten to the point where it feels like an MMO because there's so much to do and there's so much
I
world
still
building,
think of it
so
as an
many
MMO.
activities. And I don't think you can just kill off a franchise like that. Like
All the content across Destiny 1 and 2, all the story, all that shit, it's the making of an MMO. If you
It still feels like
It's
an
literally
MMO.
a first person.
to be
MMO.
honest,
what's
yo,
gonna
it's damn near WoW level. Like with
But
how much shit
it
it's in that
it's
it's in
it's
like
had
that
to
franchise.
grow to that level because remember
Yeah.
when it came out they marketed it as an MMO and people laughed at them because it was I mean honestly it was a joke but now there's so much content so much shit to do that honestly me I don't want to play it anymore because I'm so far behind I don't want to play Destiny the MMO unfortunately I just want to play Destiny the content at the time which is what it was marketed for 4 or 5 years
I feel
and
like
now
if
it's different but
Destiny,
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think people enjoy that. I just think that they need to evolve in some way.
and it will evolve. I feel like you guys are kind of underestimating the power of Bungie because
yeah.
keep in mind, Bungie still kind of has that core, the core staff that's actually still in there since the Halo days. So innovation still kind of runs through their blood. I believed. Okay,
Yeah,
so
but that's
for
the
one,
problem. Well,
Bungie's
think about
gonna.
It's Halo never really innovated like an
Yes,
enormous.
it did.
It innovate. Okay, hold on. It innovated, but it wasn't. It wasn't like fucking miles and margins like Destiny needs to do.
yeah.
Like Halo always felt like Halo at its core. We've done Destiny as Destiny at its core for fucking like 4 or 5 years straight.
I have faith in Bungie because I know because what's probably gonna happen is this: Bungie's definitely gonna be their bread and butter in order to bring in more sales and to keep the studio afloat. and to make more, so they can go with those other IPs, those other kind of like kept back aspirations that they had during Activision. So to be honest, it's definitely going to be in the coming, and I feel like they're going to be kind of like a CD Projekt Red, to where like they're independent to the point where they can do whatever they need to.
I mean, they're already at the independent point like that. I think the difference is that unlike CD Projekt Red, their games aren't flying off the fucking shelves, and I think that they're at a point where they are independent. So if their shit fails, it's on them. Like that it's only one group of people they can blame. That's themselves. And unlike Bethesda, they don't have that one game they can re-release 1,500 times and still make that margin in order to keep the studio running. Which is why whatever they make has to be, it has to pull in the money.
It has to knock out, it has to knock them out of the park.
To be honest, now that I think about how big the Destiny universe and like how much content is in like between those two games, I feel like if Destiny 1, if it was only just Destiny, right? And these 4 expansions we have in 2 would have just been added on to Destiny 1, and they would have like remade like the look of the game, because WoW did the same thing. They kept releasing expansions, but they upgraded how the game looks. If Destiny had did that, and I don't know, somehow marketed the game again the way they did Destiny 2, then it would be like a first-person shooter version of WoW. Like if they had done that, because like I said, like this shit is basically WoW at this point. It's a first-person WoW, because like the expansions, because WoW has 6 expansions, all with their own story. Destiny did the same thing, and like a lot of end game content to do, a lot of raids, a lot of gears to get. Like it's huge, man. So after this shit, after Destiny 2 is over, either we get a Destiny 3 that's like fucking, it knocks it out the park, because they don't have their limitations, their Activision limitations anymore. If they knock this out of the park, they're up there. But yeah, real quick, the other studio I was gonna mention that could come up is Arcane Studios. They made Dishonored, and they made Alien Isolation. They made they helped with the Phantom Pain. They helped with Splinter Cell 1 and Blacklist, and they helped with the original Metal Gear.
What have they put out recently, though?
Dishonored 2, unfortunately.
When did that come out, though?
2016.
It's been like 3 years since their last.
It's been a while. I mean, you have to imagine they're working on something for next gen, most likely.
I feel like if they keep this tradition of like, I mean, they can't keep this tradition of being slept on, because that's not how you grow as a company, as a developer studio. But they're solid. They're very, very, very solid. Dishonored 1 and 2, both very solid games. And if they release a Dishonored 3 and it hits that 3rd time, then I feel like that'll propel them as a developer company. And who publishes their games for them? A fucking Daniel Light? No, that's their composer. Wait, that's their composer.
Wow.
That's Bethesda. My bad. The Bethesda publishes them. I feel like Bethesda will give them their clout and let them do more shit, because they deserve it.
But I would hope so, because Bethesda need good positive PR.
Yeah.
My bad. And one more game. In terms of games, though, I think that this next BioShock's on this next generation is gonna be fucking nuts, yo.
I hope so.
Like the things that they touch on, and like if you go back and play the first 2 BioShocks, like they really do touch on a lot of mental things that weren't really being talked about at the time, and were like way ahead of their time. And then BioShock Infinite was obviously just, it touched on a lot of issues before they became big world issues. So I think whatever, the writing has always been really good, and I think the fucking backdrops, the world itself, wherever they drop me, we're gonna be on the moon. It's gonna be something fucking nuts, yo.
Yeah,
like,
and it's a brand new studio too that has like elements from. What other studios do they have elements from?
It's the same studio.
No, it's a brand new development.
Yeah, I think they acquired 2K acquired a new studio that's doing it. I think
2K new studio. It's like Cloud something.
Or is it the new studio with the same people, or is it like the new studio with? You gotta read between the fucking lines on these things. It's so confusing because there's such a big gap between the games. But that was the only game I could think of. The other games are the other games that are coming out in this next 5 years or so. We really haven't seen anything on.
Yeah, we're gonna be busy. Let alone the first 5 decade, the first few months of 2020.
My wallet.
The last thing I was gonna say, just before I forget, is I can't think of any studios right now because they are smaller time. But I think indie games are gonna continue to be have a strong presence.
Yeah.
Because there've been a
No
lot of
doubt
games
about
that
it.
have come out from smaller studios, that have been hitting. So than the AAA titles like Indivisible is the first one that comes to mind. Sea of Solitude was a really good one. You know, the indie games like Grease and all those other ones that
Wait, Sea of Solitude
have
is
good
out.
games.
I don't think anybody played this year, but Risk of Rain as well.
Risk of
No, I
Rain,
played.
I have that.
played
I think
Risk of Rain
somebody
2.
gifted me. I don't know if it was somebody else. Somebody gifted me that game. But yeah, it looked cool.
Risk of
I
Rain
think it
2
was-
is great.
Yeah. So I
I'm
still
good
think it's
on.
gonna be a strong at least few years for indie games still. I think.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
It will be the whole decade. I wholeheartedly am confident that the whole decade will still have indie develops, and it will be like
I think,
on
but
par
I
of
think,
like
yeah, but
two
yeah, my whole
double
point is
A
I
and
think they're
triple A
gonna
shit.
stop. They're gonna stop being so indie because I think they're still gonna be
It's
independent, but
it's
they're
just
gonna
gonna
be
be
getting like triple A. Like
it's gonna be called double A now.
I feel like
at
the
that
quality is
Double
yeah. I think
A?
the quality
Wait, the
of
batters?
games are gonna be really good.
I don't know. I hope this generation is. I hope because how do I put it? I feel like the beginning of this decade we got Minecraft, and that was like the big, worldwide
Literally the
phenomenon.
biggest. Yeah, it's
And then at the end of the decade, we get fucking Fortnite, yo. I just hope our phenomenons are a little bit better towards the beginning and the end of next decade, because I can't.
I mean,
I hope Fortnite dies.
you
Oh
see,
yeah,
I'm
for
Um,
not-
sure. I
I'm
need to see
gonna
this.
I hope we take it out back collectively and just put it down.
Just shoot
I
that
think
shit.
I
yo.
think they get another season in them.
I can't hate on
For
their
sure.
hustle because if you look at the theme between those two games you just mentioned, Minecraft and Fortnite, it hits with the kids, bruh. And at this end of the day, there's
It's
still
the
plenty
biggest
of kids.
market.
They're still the biggest market. There's still
I
plenty
just
of
can't
kids.
wait for those kids to grow up.
And
Yeah.
they
That's
keep
why-
making
that's
current
what
trends as
baffles
well.
me when they grow
Right.
up. What? Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you. That's
You're
what baffles me because when they grow up and have like their own type of nostalgia, it's gonna be Fortnite and like Minecraft,
Oh yeah.
and
I
all
mean,
those are
no.
online
Like,
only.
For them, it's not gonna be Minecraft.
Yeah, that's just part of that's just a
This
part
is
of
the
the deal,
this is
yeah.
the Fortnite generation.
Yeah,
The
this
last
is
generation was
Fortnite generation.
Minecraft. This
How-
generation is
How are they gonna relive their childhood, huh?
You know what makes me
When Fortnite
sad?
dies.
Fortnite.
What makes me sad is that a lot of these kids' first like Kingdom Hearts game was Kingdom Hearts 3, and
Oof.
it is a good game, but the story wise, it's not gonna grab them like the first two did me. So they're not gonna like look forward to whatever comes next whenever they're in their 30s and waiting for Kingdom Hearts 4.
yeah.
Hey, at least they don't have to wait. Wait, this is the end of Kingdom Hearts, right? No?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. Because I was gonna
It's
say, hopefully they don't
according.
have to wait.
Well, you haven't played it, but the ending, it makes it seem like it's the end. But according to the fucking director, he's like, "Oh, it's just the end of a chapter," and we're like, "But
I don't want.
I want more.
well, it's not like I don't want. It's like I don't know how that's gonna work."
Yeah, your story makes no sense.
Well, they kind of pulled a Mass Effect.
I waited 14 years for Kingdom Hearts 3. Yikes! Oh my god. I didn't even realize it was that much streaming time. So I was gonna say, hopefully they don't have to wait 14 years for Kingdom Hearts 4 for them that just experienced the first Kingdom Hearts just now. Hopefully they don't have to wait that long like y'all did.
I'm mad we just now getting fucking the first 1.5 and 2.5 on Xbox. Like, it didn't even make any sense that they did it like that. I'm assuming they did it like that because of timed exclusive on PlayStation. But it's like Kingdom Hearts 3 came out in January 27th of this year, or yeah, it's still this year, of 2019. And Kingdom Hearts 1.5, it came out on
25th.
Xbox and PS4. And in 1.5 and 2.5 are coming out on Xbox this January or 2020 January.
Mm-hmm.
It was like if no one's owned the fucking PlayStation in their life, then they didn't even have an option to play the other Kingdom Hearts until after they'd already played 3. Like, as a marketing standpoint, doesn't that just seem fucking stupid?
Yeah. I feel. Damn, it does suck that a franchise like Kingdom Hearts that this is their first like same with Final Fantasy really, but like for me 15 wasn't that bad. But
Yeah,
you know,
that's
we
really
we just
unfortunate. I
had
hate
this
to hear that.
conversation.
Don't even bring that up. Yeah,
Yeah, because a lot of the franchises like I just got into nice shit. Like you tell me that I had bad intros to these. Like Halo 4 was my first Halo, and you were like, "That's unfortunate." Halo,
It is.
Final Fantasy 15 was my first Final Fantasy. You
yeah,
said
that's
that's
unfortunate.
unfortunate.
Yo, that's like
Yeah.
losing your virginity to a chick whose shit stink.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's tough.
yeah. I feel like, damn, bro, it does suck that this new generation didn't get to that their nostalgia isn't gonna be these games that we
I think what's
usually
even more
think
sad
of.
is they're not even gonna back and play this. That.
Oh
Nope.
yeah.
Because they'll how are they able how I can't speak.
True.
That's
You
where.
feel
Go
what I'm
on.
saying?
Go on.
Yeah,
Forget about it. Go on.
Fortnite is really their nostalgia, man. Damn, that sucks. It's whatever though. They'll hopefully, you know,
Hey, yo, as long as you're nostalgia's anthem.
they'll get to grow up
You
with
fucking
these.
got me on that one.
If their
Real
parents
talk.
let them buy them at least, like if they have the same parents we had back then that let us buy M-rated games, they'll get to experience Cyberpunk, Doom Eternal. You know
Oh
what
no,
I'm saying?
parents
All
are going
this
to get
new
worse.
shit.
Parents are going to be
Oh.
buying hentai games in 5 years.
Hi, Brad.
Tyler Kenpachi.
Well, watch
Alright,
Monster
bro.
Girl Island is Game of the Year. 20...
I,
shit's at
it
the
high
Game
key
Awards.
might. It high key might.
I'm saying,
Best
yeah.
independent
I will
game.
fucking faint if Monster Girl the Game of the Year at the Game Awards.
So I said, bro, what if Honey
Monster
Pop?
Where have we fallen, bruh? How far
What
have
if-
we fallen?
How's that a fallen, my G?
I'm a crip walking around my house.
What if Honey Pop 2 wins Game of the Year in the next couple years, yo? How y'all
It's
gonna
probably
feel?
gonna win my game of the year.
Not Game of the Year, but if it's like nominated for like, I don't
It's
know.
gonna
Indie
be
game of the year.
I don't give a fuck. I
Right.
love it. I'd love it.
I mean, I would too, but it's just like, nigga.
I
We really
motherfucking
feel
put
that
Honey
way.
Pop on my top 10. You
Bro.
telling me I won't put it on my fucking list?
It's so not safe for.
No.
It's
Parents,
fine.
do your job, please. It's a new decade. Can you
The,
actually
the way
raise
the
your-
way the way Honey Pop 2 is looking, it might not be safe for life.
High
We'll
key.
see. Parents, just please raise your children in this next decade, please.
Well, there's gonna be some people ain't leaving their houses for at least a month.
I don't know. I don't know
Uh,
about y'all, but we've
I'm
been
gonna-
talking for about 3.5 hours.
And my jaw hurts, yo. I ain't had
We're
this jaw,
old.
Nah, it's
kind
not
of jaw
been
pain in
3.5.
years.
Bro,
It's been
Yeah, it has.
I'm sick.
Oh,
I
it
don't
has.
got that
We
much
started at
energy left,
7.
bro.
Yeah, we started at 7.
yeah,
It's
3
10:30
hours
now.
24
I
minutes.
mean, I've been drinking, yo.
Hey, okay,
I
wait,
need another
last
drink.
question.
How
Final
long is this gonna take?
This won't take long depending on how y'all.
You're always asking
Yeah,
questions.
I
Actually,
guess.
you asked the question, but you're not allowed to speak
What?
because you do speak for a long time. Trust
Okay, I won't talk that
You
long.
long-winded.
Nah, you won't
Bro,
speak
on
it.
God.
Always ask
Just
questions.
ask the
Oh,
question.
okay,
Just ask the
listen.
question.
Okay,
Don't
let me
even
ask the question. Whose list did y'all like the best? That like besides yours?
All
My
right.
list.
That nigga,
My list
that's
was
the
cute.
dumbest
Why?
question, bro.
Why?
Besides
Why
y'all,
we gotta
whose
compare
list
ours?
did y'all like?
Why do we
I
gotta
don't
compare
remember.
lists?
We
How
can't-
about
I
we
I
can't-
be
legit
proud
don't
with the
remember
list
either.
that we have, Mitch? Why you
Exactly.
gotta
This
put
nigga
I
ego
love
in
my
this?
list.
measure my
I
dick
didn't
so
like
bad.
it. I ain't compared to
I
anyone
Yo!
think we
else's
can
list.
all. How
My
about
list
this?
is
I think
mine.
we can all agree. We can all agree that T Palmer's initial list was garbage. How about
I
that?
agree.
We agree with that.
Alright,
All right.
yeah,
He
well,
I
since
agree.
fixed it, so good job, T Palmer.
All right.
Good job, dude.
Shout
Uh,
out
Did
to
he
you.
fix
Alright,
it?
take us
Let me
out,
roast
take
that
us
one
out.
too.
Yeah, take it. Let me take a let me take a little pause. All right. So, oh god. So,
Nah, he still got 2 Call of Duties
That-
on there. Fuck that nigga.
He rearranged them. I don't know.
oh shit, my head hurt. All right. I want to thank y'all for coming out. Appreciate all y'all boys. What I was about to say. Oh, Kenpachi Podcast, episode 32, New Year's Eve edition. You feel me? Your boy's not stopping. We going into the new year. We doing big things. We gonna start shit off. Your boy's gonna get back into streaming. That's I guess a New Year's revolution I want to do.
He's lying.
Revolution or resolution?
Resolution. I'm
Both.
tired, bro.
Both, man.
Yeah,
He
both.
been flipping them bagels again.
I'm not gonna let these bagels get to me. You feel me? Your boy gotta
Stay
stay
away
on
from
track.
the Tinder harlots.
Alright. Your boy gotta stay on track with the shit. You feel me? Gotta stay focused. Gotta keep the goal in front of me. And yeah. So that being said, like I said, thank you everyone for coming out. See
Happy
y'all
New Year.
next Wednesday.
Stick around for part 2 where I give my 100 favorite anime of the
Yeah,
decade.
we gonna do a little
Alright.
anime special
Lord have mercy.
podcast in the future.
I don't
So-
even think I can even come up with 100 anime that I've seen.
I don't
Hell
know about
no.
100.
I've
but
not
we
seen
can do
100
10.
anime.
I've
We
seen
can
a
do
lot of
10.
anime. I've seen
Honestly,
anime.
I could probably give you 100 in the first 5 years of the decade.
You're lying.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
What the fuck?
This nigga.
If we're talking about past decade, yeah.
Nah,
Yeah,
I'm talking
I
about
gotta
this
go
decade.
back. I probably watched 100 most definitely.
All
I
the
can't
best
remember
shit
off the top of my head,
happened
though.
already, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I watched too damn many, and there's a lot of them that was good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold you. I watch a lot of stuff with tits in it. I'm not.
Facts.
Gonna
Oh man,
yeah.
that's the best ones.
Hey, we can go ahead and close it out though.
Beginning of the decade, yo. Watching all kinds of
Closing
characters
words
changing
start from
my
the
face
top,
all the
Blitz.
time.
I was gonna say something in French, but I don't have all the words down yet, so I'm just gonna keep it in English. Like I just want common sense to make a comeback this decade. Can we start thinking a little bit more critically, people, please?
You're asking too much already.
Yeah.
Nah, come on, no, I need humans to be better, bruh. Because otherwise, I'm really gonna need the aliens to come out and just take us all out like Independence Day. And deep down, I don't really want that. So let's just start thinking more critically, people. All right, that's it. Happy New Year.
We're gonna see with this next election.
Yeah, that's gonna be the first indicator.
Oh Jesus Christ. Oh.
All right.
That just defeated my whole
Chef?
fucking.
Closing words, my man.
Don't follow the trend that Nightshade is on. Minecraft is my top game of the decade. I am not lying.
This nigga lying, yo.
I haven't seen one megabyte of that game installed.
That
Yo.
is
One
crazy.
mega-
Have you ever said the word Minecraft before?
Yes, I have.
That's crazy.
It's no capping when I tell y'all this. That's number one.
I ain't know Chef.
Close
Actually, Chef, you have kept. Never mind.
That's my closing.
I think Chef might be getting confused with Pong. I think he made Pong.
Tripping.
Alright, Gemini Wolf, what's your closing statement?
Listen, bruh. It's gonna be a free revolution. One day.
Excuse me.
All
But
right.
until that
Next.
day happens, just keep your third eye open.
Nah, I'm gonna
have a good
keep.
time,
I'm
open
good
your
with the
heart.
two.
And 2020 is gonna be looking really, really nice for all of us. I wish y'all a happy New Year and a happy life.
Alright.
Yo, Kenpachi, why'd you throw the flashbang out of closed door?
Yeah.
Dumbass,
That's why you got shot in your face.
Hey yo, my top game of the decade, yo. I'm still trash.
Alright. Nightshade, closing statements.
Alright, yo, listen. This decade ain't been too bad. I hope next decade I'll be able to play some more games and not just shooters. Maybe branch out and not be trash at single player games.
Yo, single player games will help you.
Yeah, they will.
For real.
It does hurt my aim sometimes because you be playing these different games, Joe, and
Yo,
yeah, some of these games is trash. You don't know they trash till you 40 hours in. It's like wasting life. But yeah, I mean it hasn't been a bad decade. There's a lot of good games, a lot of good times. Maybe this Discord will still be here. Maybe we haven't gotten nuked. But I'm getting locked off from talking so much. So y'all have a good one.
Sir, Merry New Year.
Merry
Happy New Year.
Oh, and Chef's a liar.
Mr.
All right, my
Man.
closing statements. It's similar to the ones at the beginning. I've learned a lot this decade. You know what I mean? Learned a lot this past 3 years, but I'm gonna take it all, use it, and become a better version of myself that I and many others around me would be very proud of. So yeah, I'd like to thank Gen 1 for being a key factor, or not a key factor, but a very huge factor of my life these past 2 years. I love y'all niggas, man. Even though, you know what I'm saying, some of y'all be questioning my friendship. You know what I'm saying? That shit hurted. But I love y'all niggas, man. And you know, when we link up next year, it's gonna be a good time. Glad to finally meet.
Airbnb still.
Yeah.
Hey yo, I mean,
That's
Mitch,
fun.
look forward to 2030 on this podcast. You know, you'll actually be able to give more of an intellectual input on things. You actually lived the whole decade.
I never lived the whole decade. You feel?
All right.
Nah, yeah, you was definitely born this decade.
Yeah, you're right. My bad.
Alright.
But like I said, shout out Gen 1. Love y'all. Let's make this next decade the best it can be.
What's in my hands, please?
And my closing words for the decade, everyone needs some love.
Not everyone.
I'm
Nah,
good.
everyone. Nah, everyone.
not
Fucking-
everyone doesn't deserve it, but if we need it
Damn,
to
it's like
be
that.
to be a better person, I would say so. So, you know, be a better person. You fucking miserable pieces of shit. I'm out.
Yo.
Okay.
Watch
Okay, how
Star
you really
Wars.
feel?
Don't sleep on
Very
it.
aggressive.
And Mandalorian.
Yes.
Hey, watch Hunter x Hunter.
No.
Oh,
Hey, yo,
facts,
play
facts,
play
you-
Fallout New
you
Vegas.
Facts. Hunter.
You good?
Follow me in
Oh,
Gemini Macro.